here. Seattle's wide receiver, who was a restricted free agent, signed a 2-year offer sheet from the Jags on Friday. The Seahawks had 5 days to match, and yesterday they did. According to NFL Network, that offer sheet is worth $5.5 million, with $4.5 million guaranteed.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Okay, I almost get into a fight yesterday? I don't think so. I don't think I did. Was I a little hostile? A little hostile towards one of our guests?
No.
No. Right?
No, you weren't.
No, I don't.
You
No.
stood 10 toes down.
I thank you, Curtis. What it was we had a guest who I have a ton of respect for. He's very smart and always very kind to us and generous with his time. He's joined before to talk about drafts in the offseason. His name's Trevor Sikkema. He's great. He's the lead draft analyst for Pro Football Focus. And I just felt that Trevor had a lot of confidence in the Rams. And I understood it, Bump. I thought, you know what? I totally get it. I totally understand. But I just wanted to push back just a little bit. And then we got these answers. So are the Super Bowl champion Seahawks still fighting for respect in the NFL is where we're going to start today's show. And what I want to get to by the end of these 15 minutes is, well, what would the Seahawks need to do for more people to feel more confident in them? And I know that your answer, if you're listening, might be like, we did not care. Like, we don't care. You don't have to feel confident. But I think that, maybe there's something I'm not seeing in terms of big question marks that they have. So first, here's what Trevor said about the Rams being Super Bowl favorites next year.
I would tell you that the Rams are the Super Bowl favorites next year, and I would say that without question. Just because I look at the roster of what they were last year and how close the Seahawks and the Rams were, like that NFC Championship game, that was a Super Bowl. We all knew it.
Sure.
We all knew that was a Super Bowl because those two teams were so close. Well, in this offseason, the Rams have got aggressively better, and I think the Seahawks have objectively versus what they were last year taken a step back.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. They've taken a step back, and it's all about perception, right? Kobe's out, Boye, K9, Reek Woolen, all guys who contributed to what they did last year. And you look at what the Rams have done or haven't done. Mm-hmm. They upgraded their corner position, 2 corners, right? Watson and McDuffie over there. You still got Devontae. You still got Jerry. You still got Kobe. You still have Fisk, right? So, yeah, on paper, they have gotten better, and the Hawks have seemingly gotten worse. Even look at the 49ers, they've gotten better. Mike Evans, Christian Kirk, Greenlaw comes back as well. Mm-hmm. So I think if you just look at what has been gained and what you've lost, yes, I can see why people are saying that. I think what the Hawks are banking on are that the guys that they picked up are going to do something. Guys that I didn't even know about until this whole thing went down. Rodney Thomas, I don't know. Who is that, right? Look at the film. Okay. Emmanuel Wilson, kind of heard about him. Didn't watch a lot about him. A lot of them saw the film. Okay, get what they're doing. So, yes, I think it's natural for the Hawks to start in this position. Say they kept Kobe.
And like Ken or something.
Say, yeah, like 2 of the 4 who dipped. Say they kept 2 of them, then I think people will be looking at the situation a bit differently. And then you add on the fact that you pay Jason a whole bunch of money. People have feelings about that as well. It kind of hinders what you can or can't do right now.
Yeah.
I believe the Hawks wide receiver room is the most expensive in the league right now. And we've had conversations about this. We haven't seen a top 5 highest paid receiver win a Super Bowl, right? He's already won his, and now we've got his money comes to JSM. So, yeah, I get why people view the Hawks the way that they have because of what's been going on around them with the Rams and the Niners.
I do, too. I'll add this tiny little note, which is the Rams defense needed McDuffie. Like, the Rams defense was not as good as Seattle's last year. I don't think that adding McDuffie makes them as an entire team and certainly as a defense monumentally better than Seattle. Like a clear favorite over Seattle. They weren't as good. That defense wasn't as good. And before anyone, we don't really have any Rams listeners, but like, this isn't me saying the Rams aren't an incredible team ahead of all 3 of these games. I said on air and to you in off air, like, oh, I'm so nervous, man. Like, this Rams team is so good. This offense is unbelievable. Matthew Stafford threw for like 500 yards last time. Oh, my God. But the Rams defense allowed 30-plus points in 4 of their final 7 contests. And that included 27 points against the Falcons. So that would have been 5 of their last 7. That defense very quietly was struggling a little bit in the final stretch of play. And that stretch also included a loss to the Carolina Panthers in the regular season. The regular season loss to the Carolina Panthers, wherein Emmanuel Forbes gave up, I believe, 2 long touchdowns. And as a defense, they gave up, I think, 4 long touchdowns, like 30-plus yard touchdowns to Bryce Young, 2 of them on 4th down. Your secondary had question marks. That was something you needed to fix no matter what. So I think that while I give the Rams a ton of credit, and while I have my concerns about who the Seahawks lost, namely Ken Walker, I also think that the Rams are getting a ton of credit with people assuming that these were on like equal playing fields, level playing fields. These were not equal defenses. Seattle's defense got better as the year went on. The Rams did not.
Facts. And the Rams, I think, are giving up like 384-something yards per game the last 3 games, which was pretty bad, right? But Hawks were like 342. So, just familiarity to you play a team a second time, a third time, things are going to happen, right? Yeah, the Rams addressed something that was hurting them, right? They were 22nd against the pass, at the 10th worst passing first downs per game. They gave up the 6th most pass attempts per game. The Hawks are right behind them at 5th because Hawks right behind them. But no, there are numbers to support that the Rams made the moves that were necessary for them. The thing is, they didn't have, or let me run it back. You're still waiting to get this Puka deal done, right? Mm-hmm. So when you look at some of the numbers too, as far as money being spent, it's kind of skewed right now because you're going to have to pay Puka around the same as you're paying JSN at this point. So yeah, I think the approaches are different with these two. All right, just the Rams and the Seahawks. The Rams' approach is we're going to go get some proven guys that have shown they can play in this league, and we're going to fill that void and that gap right there with a Trent McDuffie and a Jalen Watson. The Hawks are like, we trust in our evaluation and how we can scout these players. We're going to get the right type of guys for cheap and hope that they're going to develop and pan out. Just like Josh Jobe did, just like Ty Okada did, just like Drake Thomas did. They've shown that this is their approach. So I think it's 2 different approaches. And the easy way to look at this and be like, well, I know that name. I know they've gotten better.
Sure.
All right, if we really do trust the process and trust these guys, then I got to look at Emmanuel and say, let me wait and see. I got to look at Thomas and say, let me wait and see, because this is what this team has shown that they can do. Now, we're talking about the future and guys being able to get paid. I went on the Brock and Sox show this morning, and some dude was just getting at me. Bump's a clueless wide receiver. He doesn't know.
For what?
But because they pretty much asked me about the Jason situation. And I said, yeah, he deserves it. He's going to get his money. And there are ways to backload these contracts to where it's easier to maneuver money around.
Do they know that John Schneider signed him to the deal and not you?
Exactly. And that's exactly.
Just making sure they know.
That's exactly
they're clowning their own GM.
That's exactly what they're doing. Backload this thing, all right, and then we'll be able to maneuver money around. And the cap goes up every year too, all right. Like cap went up. How much did it go up this year, Curtis? You remember?
Up to $301 million.
From what though?
Oh, probably 280 something.
It's gone up, I think, like 20-ish million.
Yeah,
20 million. Yeah. All right, so I think that people forget that, and they're looking at like a Byron Murphy and saying, "Well, how are we going to pay him?" You're going to be able to pay Byron Murphy, right? There's something called signing bonuses. You backload this thing, the cap moves up. You restructure contracts. Josh Allen did it this year. Pat Mahomes does it every dang year, it seems like. Lamar Jackson done. Like, this is just what you do. It's just when that money's being paid to a receiver is where people kind of get in there. It fails a bit. And I get it because the numbers suggest that these receivers getting paid this much don't typically win Super Bowls. But receivers don't win you Super Bowls regardless.
No.
It's O-line, it's D-line, it's quarterback, it's running that ball, and then you sprinkle in your weapons from the outside.
Well, and it's also the tiniest sample size, right? Like, you could look at we all know that defenses win Super Bowls. That's something that we've said over and over and over again. And I actually think that there's truth to that. Like, defense really, really ends up mattering a ton in the postseason. Well, what about when Dallas in back-to-back years had a top 5 defense? Why didn't that win Super Bowls? Oh, because it's super nuanced. Because there's a lot that goes into winning a Super Bowl, and you have to have a lot of pieces working in the right way.
Yeah.
So I just think that, like, when you're picking and choosing and you're going, okay, Justin Jefferson, hasn't won a Super Bowl with Minnesota. Jamar Chase hasn't won a Super Bowl with the Bengals. And, there's too much money invested in wide receiver, and they haven't been able to get better elsewhere. Well, wait a minute. Hang on. Minnesota had a pretty solid formula, which is a really great defense. They have this great wide receiver, and they have a rookie contract invested in a quarterback. Oh, it was the wrong guy. And he tore his meniscus his first year and just wasn't good the second. Like, okay, you can't really control that. They won 14 games and lost to the Rams. Bummer. But, like, that's just kind of how the NFL works, man. That was on paper a pretty solid formula in terms of roster construction for winning a Super Bowl. You're paying your quarterback nothing. He's giving you way more than his contract. Your defense is great. And you're paying a wide receiver who's making up for, I guess, the talent gap between your quarterback and the best in the league. Like, I don't know. I think that people simplify it by looking at the tiniest sample size each year of teams that are actually in the race.
Yeah. And that's a hard thing to do, man, because the league has changed so much in the last, 10 years. 10, 15 years, receivers have become more valuable. The game is spread open a bit. Even now, it's getting packed in a little bit, but the guys on the outside are just a bit more valuable. So it's like looking at a league that's been around dang near 100 years and looking at a fraction of that league and how it's being played today, and then going with a narrative that this position doesn't do this. If John Schneider didn't think that Jason was this important to this football team, he would not make him the richest wide receiver in the game, right? It's as simple as that. And I get people's concerns because you see the big number, you see the cap hit, and you automatically think we're not going to be able to pay other people. I mean, I can guarantee you you're going to be able to pay other people, and I will guarantee you're going to lose other players as well.
But
because
you don't need to pay
that's
other
just
people.
how the NFL works. You can't keep everybody, and you can't keep everybody at a price that makes you feel comfortable. That's not how this works. They place value on Rashid Shaheed and JSM, and the reason why I think that they went that way first is because they know that Sam Darnold needs that for him to be successful. Now, when it comes to the running back spot, I think they'll address it in the draft, and I think that they have a couple guys on staff now, on roster now, that they think can get her done. This is their process. There's a method to their madness. Because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's wrong, doesn't mean it's right. But your goal is to try to put the pieces together and understand their angle. Time will tell if it works out or not.
Let's go back to our opening question in just the final 2 minutes here, Bump, with the idea of, okay, if the Seahawks are still fighting for, I shouldn't say respect, people are all around the league, analysts all around the league that we talk to have a ton of respect for the Seahawks, but they aren't nearly as confident in them as they are in the Rams. So we're trying to figure out why. For Trevor Sikkema, he feels like the Rams added a ton, headlined by Trent McDuffie, but other pieces, and that the Seahawks lost too much. So what would the Seahawks need to do you think, to give people that confidence?
Let me say this before I answer that.
Yeah.
Boye Mafe, great player. I wouldn't pay him $20 million a year. I wouldn't. My man had, 4 to 5 sacks last year. Great. Athletic, has a motor, potential, I get it. But if the Hawks sign him for $60 million for 3 years, I hope y'all will feel a certain way because the production doesn't match the number to me. The potential does. I think he can be that type of player. So I'd much rather pay someone who has shown me already that they can be one of the best at doing it. That's why I'm good with JSN. I'm sorry, what was your question?
Just the idea of what would the Seahawks need to do then? Like, is there any way that the Seahawks could make a case for having
To the people,
to these analysts, for commanding a little more respect?
The only move they could have made, I think, that would probably put people at ease would be one of those running backs that were picked up, the Algiers.
Or keeping Walker.
Keeping. I think because of that, right, I think people are losing a lot or have lost some confidence in this whole thing. And I get it, but again, how do they view running backs? Obviously, they look at running backs and say, we can find a guy. He actually said that on Wyman and Bob, John Schneider. That's a position where we feel like we can find a guy. This is the tough part about this part of the season is that no one knows what's going to work out. That Greenlaw back to the Niners, is he going to be healthy? Christian Kirk to the Niners, is he going to ball? Mike Evans, does he still have some left in the tank? Trent McDuffie, he balled out last year. He's probably going to be okay. Jalen Watson, these moves are still to be determined whether they're going to work or not. But because these are names that people can identify with, it's easier for them to lean into it. And I get it. It's easier. I'm still waiting to see Emmanuel and Thomas. I'm waiting. Can they do it?
I have my single biggest question mark with this team, outside of the obvious one about, like, what does your offense look like with a new offensive coordinator? You know, is it tough with yet another play caller, even if they're from the same system, yet another play caller for your quarterback, et cetera. But the running back room, I've been saying since the beginning of the offseason that I have questions about it, and I'm not going to change that opinion now just because, someone's saying that, like, the Seahawks need more. Like, I'm not going to lie and be like, oh, yeah, they have enough. No, I said I had question marks, and I do. Someone texted in, though, and said, like, who cares what the Rams are doing? Why does it matter at all? Not only are you in the NFC West, it matters very much what the Rams are doing. They said, like Bump said, focus on what we're doing. Look. Shut up. But also, the reason that I'm talking about this in the first place, I think it's interesting. I want to talk about things that are interesting to me. And what's interesting to me, in addition to how teams build championship rosters, that's by far the most fascinating thing in sports, right? I stay in my lane. I didn't play. I'm interested in team construction and roster building. But also, I'm interested in perception. I've worked in media. That's how I got started. I was a sports reporter. And I'm always very interested in why we have the opinions we do and how much of that is influenced, maybe not necessarily by just play on the field, but by perception. Like you said, Bump, talking about perception, right?
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting that prior to the start of the season, ESPN didn't have Ken Walker in their top 10 running back list. No one was talking about, like you said, Boye Mafe or Kobe Bryant. Oh, by the way, Kobe Bryant, incredibly underrated player.
Yep.
But Kobe Bryant or Reek Woolen is three of the best defenders in football. And yet, by virtue of losing Ken Walker and then those three defenders, the Seahawks are suddenly so much worse. Well, wait a minute. It reminds me a little bit of when the Seahawks traded away DK and Geno and suddenly they were awful. And it's like, wait a minute. When the season started, y'all weren't that high on Geno and DK in Seattle. You guys had question marks. But now that they're not in Seattle, they're so much more valuable. And that's kind of how I feel about the moves that the Seahawks have made. The Seahawks locked down one of the best wide receivers in football. They exercised the fifth-year option for one of the best young cornerbacks in football and are presumably going to lock him down as well. They are returning a number of all-pros and Pro Bowlers, but there's so much doubt. And I'm interested in kind of like the psychology behind why we doubt certain teams.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Name recognition.
Exactly.
That's what it comes down to.
Exactly. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news.
Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services.
With Bump and Stacy.
Headline number one, the Seahawks have chosen to match the Jags offer sheet for Jake Bobo. What's the real headline?
More like Jake Dobo.
Uh-huh.
Because he's getting paid so much. So much dough. Get it? It's like money.
That's right.
Do you guys get it?
I got it.
You got it.
This is
Dobo.
This is
Bobo.
No, we're not going to let this pass, Bump. You have to acknowledge it.
You have to acknowledge my joke.
I do, but here's the issue.
With the joke.
What'd you think about it?
Jake Bobo.
What'd you think about
couple
it?
of them, man, you've been having to explain a little bit too much, man. I say
those are
you
the best ones.
You just spit the
ones you
bar,
gotta explain.
spit the bar, and if it goes over their head, it goes over
like
their
Mike
head.
McDonald, I'm a teacher. I like explaining. I like making sure we're all on the same page. I like to think of it as I'm the headline rewriter's headline rewriter.
There you go.
Got you.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I'm happy that Jake
dough
Bobo
is
back.
like money.
Yeah, it is. It is.
All right.
I'm happy Bobo's back. He's one of those guys who can run down the special teams, make some plays, catch about 8 to 10 footballs during the season. He had a couple of touchdowns. He had his moment. So this is good. I like this signing for the team. A lot of people wish that JSN would sign for what Jake Bobo signed, but JSN went for 1,700 yards and 10 touchdowns.
That'd be great if JSN signs a $5 million contract.
I mean, like there's levels to this. This contract makes sense for Bobo because that's what he contributes to a football team. I'm just making it make sense for folks.
I'm so mad right now. I'm really upset with a texter.
Oh,
Jake Modo.
That's better, huh?
He said,
Jake don't go.
Jake, don't go.
Jake, don't go.
It was right in front of me the whole time.
Send in your best Jake Bobo puns to the text line.
Jake Bobo, more like Jake don't go, is pretty. That's
not bad.
That's solid.
next.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, Steelers head coach Mike McCarthy says it'd be a great story if he was able to reunite with Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh. What's the real headline?
In other unlikely reunions, Aaron Rodgers and his family.
Oh, man.
Blow!
I mean, would it be a great story? Does Aaron even want that story?
I don't know.
They're going to win 8 games next year.
I don't know that Aaron Rodgers, who has spoken very highly of Mike McCarthy, sincerely wants that reunion. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've been kind of assuming this is like maybe a little bit of a one-sided love affair.
Maybe he wants to go out with a familiar face, too. Sometimes you get these. Could you imagine being one of these young coordinators, 30-something-year-olds? You got to sit in a room with Aaron Rodgers, and he is just critiquing everything that you do. He's questioning you, and you low-key got to give him that respect because he's been in the league like 20 years.
Resentful.
So, what does that relationship look like? Actually, I think this might be better off if Mike McCarthy does go over there. There's a rapport. There's already a respect level. One of these young guns trying to go in there and coach Aaron Rodgers, I don't see that happening.
Someone said he got paid so they wouldn't have Jake FOMO.
Ooh,
that's a good one, too. Some really good ones out there. Jake Momo. Oh, God.
Yes.
Headline number 3.
Okay.
Tiger Woods is back. Well, sort of. He's competing in tonight's TGL Finals on ESPN, still keeping quiet about competing in next month's Masters. What's the real headline?
If only the Masters could be played on a golf simulator.
Hey, that's the biggest pump fake in the world, golfers. Wintertime, you get into that simulator, you're driving the ball 300. No, you're not. You're throwing darts at the pin. No, you're not. This is a controlled environment with a computer doing all the work for you. Get out there and play some real golf. But I'm glad that Tiger's back. I haven't seen him swing a club in a long time. I miss you, Tiger.
So you're saying if you shank one on a golf simulator, you really shanked it in real life?
I've seen people almost die in one of these simulators. Shanking it so bad. Like, kids, move out the way. But yes, if you're shanking it on the simulator, the game ain't tight yet.
Oh, man. Let's all go to Topgolf.
You don't want to go to Top.
What do you mean I don't want to go to Topgolf? I would love to play one of your little golf simulators.
Well, Topgolf
that's
isn't
not
a simulator.
It's like a driving range.
Yeah, it's a range.
Well, don't you have a TV screen that you can hit it at?
No.
The TV screen is life.
Well, what are they selling
It's
there?
the Earth.
Hang on a minute.
I mean, they do have simulators at Topgolf, but most people go there for the 300 bays that they have hitting the ball into the atmosphere.
Yeah, and there's like objects you can hit it at.
I thought
point
the
totals you can
whole
get.
thing.
No.
Well, and they have like bar food there.
I thought the whole thing. I've never been to Topgolf, obviously. I thought the whole bit was that you just hit it at the simulator.
Nah.
It's like bowling, but with golf.
I'm less interested.
You go to the one in Vegas, it's cool though. They got like 3 huge jumbotrons in the driving range, watch games and stuff.
Someone said I got my gold jacket from a simulator. Green jacket, green blazer. You're listening to Bump Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Coming up next, what's going to be the toughest contract decision now that JSN got paid?
Darnold has time. Gonna let it fly.
Signed.
JSN is out there.
Sealed.
JSN has it. Touchdown. Seahawks.
Delivered.
Jackson Smith-Njigba signs a massive extension, 4 years, $168 million.
The NFL's highest paid wide receiver ever.
How about that?
Complete coverage at seattlesports.com.
Sam Darnold wouldn't have the season that he had if he didn't have JSN over there.
And the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with 0 investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
It's funny how you get used to things in not so ideal condition around the house. It's Dave Wyman here, and for me, it was old windows. After 20 years in our home, virtually every window had a broken seal. We got used to cold drafts, outside noises, and condensation. And if you're in the same boat, use this spring to say goodbye to the old, dreary windows and hello to your new exclusive windows from Harley Exteriors. Right now, they're having a spring cleaning sale to complete your home makeover. If you buy 10 windows, you can choose between 20% off your entire project or get a free door. On top of that, make 0 payments and accumulate 0 interest for up to 12 months for qualified buyers. Harley Exteriors windows are a massive upgrade, manufactured right here in the Pacific Northwest and exclusive to Harley Exteriors. Call 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com. Schedule your free consultation today at harleyexteriors.com.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Don't miss the John Schneider Show, presented by Silver City Brewery.
I truly believe defense wins championships.
Thursdays at 4, only on Seattle Sports.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for RLE. That's Refractive Lens Exchange. Now, Dr. Kopstein started K2 Vision with Dr. King from King LASIK, the most experienced LASIK surgeon in the Northwest. King LASIK plus K2 Vision equals freedom vision for every stage of life. No glasses, no contacts, readers, or cataracts. Now, if you're somebody that struggles with distance vision and now you always need a pair of reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the cherry on top: you never develop a cataract. Now, if you're somebody like me that had a pair of readers in every room of the home, in your car, you had to bring them into the restaurant with you. Otherwise, like me, you couldn't read the menu. That has all been rectified thanks to RLE. So whether it's LASIK, EVO, ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors to recommend what's best for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
Ahoy, matey! Is that a new phone? Aye, Captain, that's my new Samsung Galaxy S25 FE. You must have paid a pretty doubloon for that. Nay, 'twas zero down from Cricket Wireless. So, you plundered it. Nay, again, 'tis a monthly payment plan with BreadPay. You're shivering me timbers. I shiver you not. Me first payment is next month. Aye, that's not a plunder. That's a steal.
Get a new Samsung Galaxy S25 FE for $0 down when you pay over time with BreadPay. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Subject to approval of credit application. BreadPay loans are made by Comenity Capital Bank and Bread Financial Company.
Progressive knows life takes you in many directions.
Bear right at exit 32, then begin to wonder why you never bought a fish tank. In 1.3 miles, you'll realize you've been mispronouncing epitome your whole life. At the roundabout, you will remember you said something at dinner you wish you hadn't, and will think about it for decades. You have arrived at your destination, but it turns out there really is no destination, and life just keeps going.
Wherever life takes you, protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations. From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, so JSN is paid. What's next? What's going to be the tough decision with a contract afterwards? Michael Giannetti of Spotrac was on with Brock and Salk this morning. Let's run through a couple names here. First, how high a Sam Darnold extension could get after 2026?
High as the sky, right? I mean, these conversations are starting to happen right now with Baker Mayfield on a bit of a smaller schedule because he stepped back a little bit last season. But that's the one we watched when Darnold sort of made his first push back forward to a starting role. And now we're watching it again because Baker Mayfield's on a very, very similar pay structure. He's entering the final year of his contract. And I don't think his next contract starts with a 4. I think it starts with a 5 on an average basis because of where things have landed here. So, you want to work this deal out with Darnold so that you're getting value right now, but also understanding that if this is the same situation we're in 1 calendar year from now, the floor is $50 million a year, and we're going to have $65 million quarterbacks by that time. So when you're talking about an average percentage, 55 to 56 million is probably the going rate for Sam Darnold if I'm forecasting out 12 months from now.
So once again, you're in a bit of a pickle here where it is in your best interest for Sam Darnold to have an amazing year, except for when it comes to your wallet and a potential contract extension. But welcome to the consequences of winning, I guess.
Can you imagine the uproar that's going to go down when we have to sit there and really pay Sam Darnold $50 million? He's not worth it. Yes, he is. You know why? Because the top quarterbacks are going to get $60, $65 million a year. This is just NFL inflation. It just goes up. This is what it is. He's a Super Bowl champion quarterback. No matter what happens, he's a Super Bowl winning champion quarterback. And I don't see a dramatic drop-off coming off. He can have the same year he had this past season, and that number's going to go up. It's just so hard for people to comprehend that, man. And it does make things tougher on roster construction, for sure. You got to get creative with your numbers. But don't you want a quarterback that you trust? Don't you want a receiver that you trust? Mm-hmm. Don't you want a defensive line that you trust? Yeah, it's you win. This is what happens. Guys get overpaid. Guys get overvalued. And you're going to lose some guys during this process. That's why you have scouting departments. That's why you have a GM who's been in the game 15 years and knows how to evaluate talent. This is just a process, but goodness gracious, man, when that number goes up to 50, these text lines are going to be on fire.
I always caution people to two things. One, I ignore the million after, and I just think, okay, salary cap is $300. JSN gets 40. Mm-hmm. Sam gets 50. A bunch of other guys are going to get $3 and $4. And you know what I mean? Yeah. It's when you think of it as millions, you're like, that's so much, until you're like, oh, wait, no, they have so much money there. However, roster maneuvering and staying under the cap is so incredibly difficult. I mean, they have one person solely responsible for making sure that they're cap compliant and that they can get this stuff done. It is so difficult, and I don't envy the position that those guys are in. It's also the maneuvering that comes from winning. And now to the second point, I, as someone who's not a gambler, tend to kind of look at the, what's it called, bird in hand kind of situation when it comes to a team. I know that all of us think, oh, trade Sam and then use those picks and find someone else, completely ignoring sometimes. We're paying attention to the times that's worked out for Seattle wonderfully, and then ignoring times when for a number of organizations it hasn't.
Yeah.
You are not guaranteed that your number 9 overall pick is going to work out. You are not guaranteed. Look at Minnesota with J.J. McCarthy thinking finally, we got to do it. We got to get this guy on a rookie deal. He's our first-round draft pick. He's our quarterback of the future. What is his future? They've got Kyler Murray as their starter, presumably.
Atlanta. Michael Penix over there. He's banged up. I like the way you put it, looking at it with $300. Sam's getting 37. Leo's getting 29. Let me remind you, there's only about 10 guys on the roster who are getting double digits when it comes to that. If we're keeping it in the way Stacy described it, $300 and you split it up.
That's what I do.
Yeah, no, I think that's the perfect way for people to look at it because it makes more sense, right?
And not everyone gets an equal portion.
If you look, it's life. This is not a communist country. You look at the roster and where people are being assigned, there's a lot of $3 and $4, $2, $1, $5 out there. That's how rosters are constructed. Look at any team, and there's going to be about 10 guys getting double digits, rest of these guys getting the single millions. And, because there are only about 8 to 10 guys on any football team that are worthy of being a Pro Bowler or an All-Pro type of guy. That's just how this league works. Most of these guys are regular. If I describe them, blue-collar football players. Most of the league is made up of blue-collar football players. So when you do get your guy and he puts together a season that is remarkable, that's never been done before, yeah, you should strongly consider making him one of those 8 to 10 guys that you pay in these double digits, and as JSN's case, high double digits. In Sam Darnold's case, a quarterback. We've gone through the quarterback deal before, right? You had Russell Wilson here for a long time, making a lot of money. And I want people to go back and look at his highlight tape. I had to remind myself how good Russell Wilson was in his prime. Like, with no defense, with no run game, he kept this team 10, 11, 12
look at
wins.
2017.
Like, it's crazy. Russell was that good. Imagine if he had all these other pieces around him. And I think that because now you have a Sam Darnold who's not going to be regarded as a top 4 or 5 quarterback like Russell Wilson was, you'll still have enough more money to move around and get these pieces around him. You just got to get over the fact that that's going to be his market value, around $50 million a year.
You're exactly right. You're not resetting the market with Sam Darnold. You're resetting it with JSN. You're probably resetting it with Devon, which we'll get to in 10 seconds. You're not resetting it with Sam, but you are making it tough on yourself. We'll get back to that part later. Let's talk about Devon Witherspoon, what an extension there could look like.
Yeah, we just saw the Rams sort of reset this thing with Trent McDuffie on about $31 million a year and about $100 million guaranteed. So as with the wide receiver position, that cornerback market has skyrocketed here over the past 18 months or so. And I expect Witherspoon to be in a conversation to, if not reset it, be right within this top 2 or 3 markets. So $30 million a year, 80 to 100 total guaranteed, probably about 60 of that fully guaranteed at signing. It's going to look like a smaller mini version of this JSN extension when it's all said and done.
We, later on in the show, coming up at noon, are going to talk a lot more about just the Devon Witherspoon deal, which could end up being a little trickier than JSN in a weird way. Cheaper, but trickier. Before we get to that, though, I mean, it's an inevitability, right? You got to sign Devon.
Yeah, you got to sign him. One of the best corners in the game. And he's going to get his money. He's going to get a big signing bonus, so that's going to help with the cap hit for the first couple of years. Like, it's not all what you see on TV when they say average annual value is $47 million. It's like, yeah, kind of, but they get that signing bonus and the base kind of cuts down to like $8 to $10 million. Like, that's what I mean when I say there are ways to work this thing that I don't think a lot of people understand.
No, and it's like Brady said this in an interview with us, like the Jamar Chase contract in terms of average annual value looks bigger than JSN, but it's because he's got this really backloaded final year, which he will almost certainly not play under. They're just going to restructure it and keep pushing that money back, and that's just what's going to happen.
Same thing with JSN. I think like you're 29 or 2029 or 30 or something. I think the cap hit right now is like 40-something mil.
It's not going to be that.
It ain't going to be that.
It's not going to be that. Okay, let me get to one more here. Let's go back to the JSN one. This is Michael Giannetti talking about the salary cap impacts of that JSN deal.
Just to clarify a little bit, the JSN contract starts right now. I mean, he's making $36.5 million cash this year. I think what you're alluding to is the friendliness of the cap hits, right? So for the next 2 seasons, the salary cap structure of it obviously works in Seattle's favor for the next 2 seasons, despite the fact that, he's going to make almost $70 million across the next 2 years cash-wise. But it does align properly. So the Shaheed contract has a 2-year guarantee. Cooper Kupp, I think, really only has 1 year left on this thing in terms of practicality. And Jake Bobo's deal that they matched from Jacksonville is a 2-year contract with basically a 2-year guarantee. So the entire wide receiver room, for lack of a better term, is on a 2-year contract right now. JSN then will extend out to year 3 and year 4 because of the brevity of his structure. And he may be the lone dog come 2028 when it's all said and done. But it's a bit of an all-in move.
Does it tell you the Seahawks are all in? Is that what you see too?
On JSN?
Yeah, like on some of the moves they're making, but especially on paying JSN. Like, we're all in. We're trying to win.
I think they believe that they have a core that can, if kept together for the next 2 or 3 seasons, can be something special. And that's the way I encourage people to look at these windows, these runs, 2 to 3 years, and then you reevaluate after every season to see who's doing what. We could come back next year, say D-Law comes back next year, right? He has a full year. The way we feel about D-Law right now, this is how sports works. The way we feel about him right now, we might feel completely different about him next year. Oh, he's done now. The way you feel about anybody can change year by year. It's all projection. You're projecting that you think they're going to be as good as they were in the previous years.
You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Coming up next are the Seahawks falling into a trap they just got out of.
Sure, it snowed like less than 2 weeks ago, but you could eat peanuts, Cracker Jacks, even fish and chips out of a souvenir ferry boat in any weather. Thursdays, it's opening day for the Mariners.
Here at T-Mobile Park.
We're live from Soto all day with Bump and Stacy starting at 10. Then it's Wyman and Bob live from Hatback Bar and Grill starting at 2. Ahead of the Mariners and Guardians at 7:10. Listen wherever you are on the Seattle Sports app.
This is Brock Eward. Seastar Restaurant and Raw Bar is celebrating 24 years as Bellevue's go-to for fresh, seasonal seafood, and me and my family's as well. My good friend, Chef John Howie, delivers excellence behind every single plate, and it doesn't matter. Local oysters, sushi, cedar plank salmon, generous portions, polished service, and meals that become lasting memories. Right now, 3-course dinners in the lounge, starting at just $50. Seastar, the dining experience you remember. SeastarRestaurant.com.
Bracket busted? Don't worry, Madness Maniacs, you still have a shot at winning. Head to seattlesports.com/win to fill out your 16-team bracket. It's not too late to join in on the fun. It's the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. And the winner of the 16-team competition will win a $500 Visa gift card. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win. Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Stacy here. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, and when they resell it, they share half their profit with you. That's right. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. They'll pay you today for your car, and once they resell it, they'll share half their profit with you. WayscarFord.com.
P&D Tree Service. Local experts in tree removal for residential and commercial. Their team works fast to remove problem trees in your yard and neighborhood. If you were hit hard by the storm, P&D Tree will remove trees and clean up while minimizing impact on your landscaping. 24-hour emergency service. Any job, big or small. Safe, efficient, and fast. P&D Tree Service turns multi-day jobs into a few hours, saving you time and money. Enjoy a clean, safe, and bright yard. PNDTreeService.com.
Old windows cost you money and security. Lake Washington Windows and Doors installs energy-efficient, high-security windows that lower your bills and increase protection. With leak armor installation and lifetime warranties, you're protected for life. Choose LakeWashingtonWindows.com today.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Home of your Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Seattle Sports.
Get 5 quarts of Valvoline full synthetic motor oil and a MicroGuard Select oil filter for just $36.99. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Bring your visions to life with smart business buying tools and technology from Amazon Business. From fast, free shipping to in-depth buying insights and automated purchase approvals, we deliver everything you need to achieve your goals. Go to AmazonBusiness.com for support.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Progressive knows you could have easily taken the freeway, but you took the scenic route to see a waterfall and an oddly busy boiled peanut stand. Discovering the unexpected is exactly why you bought an RV, so protect it with a bundle from Progressive. Because although you may be 3 hours behind schedule, you're 6 jars of jam richer and possibly enrolled in a butter-churning workshop. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home and auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
There was no way to avoid this Super Bowl trap, says the 425. We won. People got paid. There would be no way to stay competitive if we didn't pay our biggest pieces. While that is very true, that's not the trap I'm talking about. Are the Seahawks falling into a trap they just got out of? This one is really kind of a trend that they had for a while, and that was paying a lot of money to their wide receiver room. You guys remember not that long ago, Mike Salk actually had this take for a while where he was like, yo, you can't talk about wanting to be this, really physical team, great in the trenches, but then spend all your money at skill position groups, especially at wide receiver and corner. Like, you can't invest all your money there and then not invest in the trenches. This is a slightly different Seahawks team that has quite literally invested in the trenches. You've got 2 first-rounders on your offensive line. You've got first-rounders on your defensive line, so it's a little bit different, but they are technically paying wide receivers quite a bit of money. They just paid Rashid Shaheed. They just paid JSN. And so Michael Giannetti, when he was on with Brock and Salk, was asked, hey, are they once again spending a little too much money at wide receiver?
It's risky. I'd push back a little bit and say, the Rashid Shaheed contract is new. The JSN contract is new. So you're sort of living off some new money. And Cooper Kupp is maybe 1 year left on his deal, so that's a little bit of fool's gold as well. But generally speaking, it hasn't gone to plan when you lock in more than one alpha contract at this position. But it is a new era. The cap is rising at a ridiculous percentage, almost 10% a year. And this is the way that offenses are being constructed, especially when you counter with the fact that they decided not to pay the running back this year, maybe as a counteractive move to what was happening with their wide receiver room.
Are they paying too much money to wide receivers? Or I should also couch that with, is it a problem when you pay wide receivers money? Because I think that's probably what they're really asking.
Yeah. So right now, they got roughly $43 million allocated cap hit next year going towards the receivers. Cap in NFL rank, that's number 7. When we talk about cash, NFL rank, that's first in the league. They're putting about $42 million towards the offensive line. That's 23rd, and then 6th when it comes to NFL or cash NFL rank. So essentially, they're investing the same amount, but there's 2 heavy dogs in that receiver spot that are taking the bulk of that money, whereas you got 5 offensive linemen more when you talk about all the other guys. But what they've done is they signed Abe Lucas, already extended him. You extended Charles Cross. You went and got yourself a rookie guard, and I don't know where Sundell's contract is. They are investing a lot. With Rashid Shaheed, you're getting kind of a 2-for-1. You're getting a number 2 receiver and then the best returner in the game. With JSN, you're getting the best wideout in the game, arguably between him and maybe 3 or 4 other guys. Are they investing too much? I don't know. We'll see. I think whenever you are number 1 when it comes to paying anybody, unless we're talking about a quarterback, and if you are paying a quarterback the most money in the game, it's evident that he's probably one of the best quarterbacks in the game, or it's just his turn to get paid. Just like we heard that clip talking about Baker Mayfield's probably going to get paid too. I don't think I think if we go back to our conversation to start the show, that if you just look at this 10-year window of not even 10 years, receivers been getting paid, 6 years or something like that, of receivers getting paid like this, you can only probably look at A.J. Brown and say, okay, that was a top receiver who got paid big money and who won a Super Bowl. So there's not enough evidence yet to say this is the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
What I think the right thing to do is bring back JSN. That's where it starts. I think what the right thing to do is you drafted a guard, you took care of your bookends, you're going to see how everything else falls. So there's no right answer for this. For me, it always goes back to trying to understand their approach. And to me, their approach is keep the best receiver in the game, get a 2-for-1 in Rashid Shaheed. Hopefully he develops a bit more and understands his offense. And we're going to be able to find a Ty Okada, a Josh Jobe, a Drake Thomas in other places, even if we're talking about offense too, right? An offensive line or whatnot. Those type of guys that make up the majority of your roster anyway. That's what I think they're doing. I'm all for keeping JSN and Shaheed. And as of now, I'm making them the highest paid. When Puka gets paid, that room will be the highest paid wide receiver.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, matter of time, you guys. It sounds like what you're also saying is like it's only a problem when it is very clearly at the expense of other groups. Paying Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf a ton of money felt like a much bigger problem when you were 31st against the run.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you're one of the best defenses in football. Arguably the best by DVOA, but certainly, one of the best run defenses in football.
Yeah.
That's because you traded, rather than paying massive contracts, you traded picks and got some key mid-season acquisitions. You then extended those guys, by the way. The timing of these contracts is also laying into this conversation. Imagine if JSN would have gotten extended, and then after that, they extended Abe and Charles Cross. Then we'd be talking about it's so great, they're investing in the trenches. But it's you just paid JSN, so it's worth talking about.
Right.
I get why the question's being brought up. I get why people go, oh, you can't pay a wide receiver that much money. But right now, it's at the expense of whom? Not hanging on to Ken Walker. How many people would have paid Ken Walker would have got from Kansas City?
I don't think many.
Right.
And we've learned through experience, right? That this is a position, the running back position, and how it's been used throughout the history of football. We know this about running backs. Their shelf life is not that long. They're just not. It's rare you get a 10-plus year running back who's producing like that. There's a reason why Barry Sanders walked away from the game after year 9 or 10. Right? The body is killing. It hurts. So it's easier, I feel like, to look at the running back spot and say, all right, we can find another one because who knows how much longer he has playing at this level. We've seen receivers go 7, 8, 9, 10 years. You got Mike Evans won 11 straight seasons with a 1,000-yard season. You know what I mean? We've seen receivers have longer careers.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's easier for these guys to drop money on a receiver, and you're one throw away from a 70-yard bomb.
Oh, right.
At any moment, you can get loose.
I want to ask Bob Condotta how Rashid can get more involved in the offense, what JSN's new contract means for the cap situation, when we could be hearing about an extension for Devon Witherspoon. He joins us next.
The sounds of spring have already begun.
Mariners spring training, best week of our year.
But if you listen close enough, you can still hear echoes of last fall.
And the Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship.
These guys raise the bar.
This isn't a fun, cute story anymore. This is who we want to be.
You guys ready?
Thursday night, the Mariners host the Guardians on opening day at T-Mobile Park. Hear every pitch wherever you are on the Seattle Sports app.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
If you actually are the person that will take care of them after the fact, if you actually will be there for them, if you will pick up your phone, then they come back to you.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. Spring and summer, it's right around the corner. So if you haven't called PCF about getting started on your new deck, well, right now is the time. With a patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy your outdoor deck or patio all year long. And right now, you can get up to $6,000 off your entire project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. Save an additional $1,500 when you bundle your deck and patio cover. Some restrictions do apply, but do what we did. Contact PCF for all the details and start planning and designing your dream deck now so you're ready to build by the spring. Planning and permits, they can take a little time, so please don't wait. Get started today. Get project ideas, browse photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. That's PCFgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space with People Come First. Come in, have fun. Muckleshoot.
Start having fun. Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Come in, have fun. Muckleshoot.
After years of football and the injuries that go with it, my first thought was always go get surgery. Hey, it's Dave Wyman, but after a consultation with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine, my eyes were open to an alternative to surgery, and I'm talking about stem cell therapy. Well, and my buddy and co-host Bob Stelton, also in pain, and decided to go see Dr. Wagner.
I had a hip issue from 14 years of jiu-jitsu.
How's the pain now?
Everything I did before, I can do just as well. Hitting the heavy bag, sparring, rolling, all of that is back in play. This whole thing has been such a pleasant surprise because I really was of the mindset, I'm going to have to go under the knife. I'm going to have to get surgery. And this really saved me from that. I could not be happier with the results.
Whether it's a hip like Bob had, a shoulder, a knee, a wrist, an ankle, before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine.
Do it. You will not regret it.
Hey, get the facts, hear from all the patients I've talked to, and schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
The countdown is on.
2 more days until opening day, Thursday, against the Guardians at T-Mobile Park. First pitch at 7:10 on the home of the American League West champion Mariners. KIRO AM Seattle. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Jake Bobo isn't going anywhere. Seattle's wide receiver, a restricted free agent, signed a 2-year offer sheet from the Jags on Friday. The Seahawks had 5 days to match, and they did. According to NFL Network, that offer sheet is worth $5.5 million, with $4.5 million guaranteed.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. from the Quantum Fiber Studio
This is Bump and Stacy.
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
Seattle Times' Bob Condotta joining us right now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Let's dive right into it. Bob, I wanted to start by talking about JSN's massive contract, which all of us were absolutely expecting. However, how does this make things tricky when it comes to the rest of the roster?
Well, I mean, it's more, the way they structured it, I don't think I don't think there's any immediate issues, really. I mean, it sounds like over the cap is estimating at the moment, it'll increase his cap hit for this year by about $5.8 million. That's not a huge deal. I think that's about how much they probably figured all along it was going to go. So, and then it goes up. It obviously goes up next year, and then goes up huge in the following year. So that's when it becomes a lot trickier. But that's why they plan this stuff out, and they kind of have their models, and the cap hits go up in future years when the cap is also theoretically going to keep going up as much as it does. So it's sort of a kind of what's the percentage of the cap as well, and not just the raw number. But obviously down in those 27, 28, 29 years, it'll be a little trickier to fit in that way. And who knows, maybe you get to 2029 or something and you redo it then. And try to bring it down some. But, for the immediate, I think that's not a bad number at all for the increase for this year, and probably about what they were hoping for all along.
We had a conversation regarding how much the receiver room is getting paid as opposed to the offensive line room. They're both taking up around 13 to 14% of the cap. How do you feel about the investment in the offensive line? Bob, honestly, I've liked what they've been doing. You sign your tackles, you draft a guard. Just what do you say to the people who are concerned about where the money's being placed as far as wideouts compared to offensive linemen?
Yeah, I don't think that's a huge issue. I mean, they did just make Charles Cross one of the top left. It's not like they're not showing they value it. I mean, they made a proactive move with Abraham Lucas when he was coming off a couple of injury riddled years. Obviously, if Abe was hitting free agency now, maybe you would have had to pay him a lot more if you did it after this season. But I think that was a good compromise for both sides. Abe got kind of life-changing money at a time when he was coming off the injuries, and the team, maybe they got a little better deal. But that's kind of how this stuff works sometimes. But Charles Cross, I mean, I think that's exactly what everybody would have thought you paid for him. And then they're gonna have to pay Gray Zabel a huge deal in a couple of years. He'll be a first round pick that I guess in 2 years from after his third year, you kind of be kind of having the same conversations we've been having all year about JSN and Devon Witherspoon, and and the other two spots are areas where maybe you can continue to draft guys and see what you do and see what you can add there, but. You just won a Super Bowl with those guys, so I don't feel like you needed to go pay a lot of money for a veteran right guard or something like that, given where they are. And I think they'll continue to look at that and try to bring in young guys. But you've got to you can't be paying. Nobody has the highest paid position group at every single position, and you're going to have to do some things. And the other thing they know they have to do is Sam Darnold next year, and. Sam Darnold's going to have one of the crazier histories of probably salary and cap hits of anybody ever, from a guy who had a real, fairly high one when he came in as a first round pick, and then being signed for almost nothing a couple of years ago by the 49ers. And then, if the Seahawks proceed on this, proceed to be pretty good, he's probably going to be signing a pretty big deal around this time next year. And that's another thing that, they know they have to plan for.
I know they have that fifth-year option for Devon Witherspoon, but with JSN signing, I think we're kind of looking at okay, well, when could Devon be signed? Do you have any gut feeling for what this timeline could look like for Witherspoon in Seattle?
Well, the JSN one was a little earlier than I thought it might be. Obviously they just decided to go ahead and get it done. Sometimes these things linger through the summer. Again, with kind of the Legion of Boom guys that often took into, we call Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner when they were coming off the 2015 season, and they were finally eligible for their contracts, and it was or 2014, I guess, and they were eligible for their contracts, and it took all the way through the summer and into training camp basically for those guys to get done. So it's always a little bit of an individual thing. But I would imagine it'll get done at some time this offseason. I think they've made it clear that was a goal of theirs to get these guys signed up and not have it. I think they want to have probably as less drama as they can about this kind of stuff and not have it be a lingering thing. And so, I think because of the position value, JSN's deal probably was always going to get done first because you're going to have to pay him more. Just because wide receivers right now get paid a little bit more than corners do. So, I think that was probably like, let's take care of that one. And then we have an even better idea of where we're at and then kind of go at it with Witherspoon.
The running back spot obviously is some concern for a lot of fans. And, Bob, I'm looking at how they've approached it, and I'm thinking, all right, well, you bring over Wilson. We're hearing great things about George Holani. That's what, at least going off of what John Schneider, how he sounded speaking to Wyman and Bob. He also dropped in Kenny McIntosh as well. When you look at the draft, do you feel like they're going to address the running back position? Or do you feel like right now between Wilson, George, and Kenny McIntosh, they already have their number one back, even though we feel like there'll be a split, a 1-2 combo?
Yeah, no, I'd be stunned if they didn't draft a running back. I think they've kind of set it up that way to draft guys. I mean, they only have the 4 picks right now. They'll probably turn that into 5 or 6, or who knows. John once turned 4 into 11, if I recall right, in 2019, I think it was. So I'd be really surprised if they didn't take a running back and add to that group. And I think that's sort of how they've planned it here to do that is instead of paying money for a veteran, you'll add a rookie to the class. And then, John gave a pretty illuminating interview, on your station last week where he talked about running backs, a position where you can find guys, and brought up the example in Green Bay when they did that one year when they kind of found their leading rusher in August or whatever, were able to add to it. And you see teams do that. And so, I think they'll continue to kind of scour what's out there as things go, see who gets cut at varying times, see if there's cap casualties along the way. And try to go at it that way. I think it's pretty obvious. They just felt of what there was on the market. There wasn't anybody they felt like they really needed to go after aggressively and get, and felt like maybe between the draft and adding another free agent somewhere along the way, you can get it done that way. And again, along with Holani and McIntosh, and then you are going to get Zach Charbonnet back at some point as well. And I think when they talk about being optimistic about his recovery, it's not so much like he'll get back necessarily earlier than they thought, but I think it's also that just long term they feel like it's not going to be an issue. I think that's how I took those comments as well. And so when they're looking at the position long term, I think they still feel like Zach Charbonnet is a part of the long term thing here, and that when he comes back, he can kind of get back into being being a guy that could be at least, if not the number one back, at least a guy you're splitting time with and has a really valuable role. And so I think when they thought about how to invest in the position this year, I think that factored into their thoughts a little bit as well.
Bob, we had an analyst join us the other day who said in looking at the offseason between the Rams and Seahawks, he felt like the Rams had kind of leapfrogged Seattle because they had made really key additions. And in his mind, the Seahawks had lost enough pieces where it was they just weren't maybe as good. Like they'd gotten worse is what he said. Is that how you see the Seahawks offseason so far?
Well, I mean, I think retaining some of your guys is, you're at least, I guess theoretically you're getting worse, sure, because you did lose guys that you don't have obvious. You do have an obvious replacement for Kobe Bryant, right? So you got Ty Okada you can stick in there. I think people nationally kind of overlook. I mean, he started in Kobe Bryant's spot in what was their biggest regular season game they had against the 49ers down there. They've shown they can win big games with him starting at safety. So, I think they wanted to keep Kobe, but again, if you kept all 4 of those guys, you could have done that now, but then maybe you can't make these deals with JSN and Devon Witherspoon right now. So that kind of happens to everybody, that gets to this point. Again, I think in the draft, this is supposed to be a really good year for rush ends in the draft. I think they can find a replacement for Boye and Mafe there. At least somebody to come in and to compete for that. And that's why they kept the guys on the roster they did last year as well. Jared Ivey and Connor O'Toole, I think, with kind of that in mind and maybe see what they have have this year. Reek Woolen is a very talented player, but everybody it's not even worth going through all that again. But I think we understand why he's not a Seahawk anymore, and that I think they feel like they're going to be fine at cornerback without him. They'll figure out a way to be fine without him, and they were able to keep Shaheed. So I don't know if they've gotten better in the off season, but I think for the long term they've done a good job of maintaining a base where they feel like they can continue to keep going at it. And if you'd have paid Ken Walker $15 million, you could have made everybody feel better in the immediate for sure. But there was going to be some pain that would come later with that, because that's a contract that would have, I think, long term, done some things that would have caused them to have to make some other decisions down the road.
Is there a position you feel like needs more attention?
Running back is the obvious one. I do feel like you need to add another body there, but I think they will. I think they will in the draft, and I think they'll continue to. That's another spot where, as guys get cut in August or whatever, you would look to do that. And then pass rusher as well. I think kind of for the long term you need to do that as well. That's why I would think. If I were doing a mock draft, I would have him taking a pass rusher in the first round. I would use that pick there for whoever the best pass rusher is at that spot, and throw him into that mix, and you get somebody who can take Maffe's snaps now, and then add to it with who knows how much longer DeMarcus Lawrence is going to play, and Uchenna's in the last year of his contract and things like that. So I think you need to address that. I think the offensive line is fine. I mean, they just won a Super Bowl with all these guys. You got every single guy coming back, and the young guys should continue to theoretically get better. So, staying in the system as well, being able to, retain John Benton and that offensive line system that they'll have. So, I don't really see that spot as a need at all. And everywhere else, you sort of have the same guys. And it's not lost on me that, in general, where they lost some guys is on defense. And you've got, I think right now, you can call Mike McDonald the best defensive mind in the NFL. And I think if there's any team where you could feel like your coach can figure out how to make up for, if maybe you've got to figure out how to account for these three starters that you've lost there, there's every reason in the world to be confident that Mike McDonald is a guy who can figure out how to do that.
Are there some players we didn't see a ton of this year that you think we could next year?
Well, I think some of the running backs you mentioned. I mean, George Holani and Kenny McIntosh sounds like he should be good to go once training camp rolls around, at least, if nothing else. Maybe they'll have to ease him into it in the spring a little bit as he comes back from that. But, for sure, that's a spot. And then other than the free agents we saw leave, every other starter comes back essentially. So, I don't know that you're going to see, other than at those positions there, you're really going to see guys have to suddenly play a lot. But I do just think that rush in and as I mentioned earlier, Jared Ivey and Connor O'Toole were two guys. It'll be very interesting to me to just see how they progress this offseason. They'd be two guys I'd really put a spotlight on, because they kept them as undrafted free agents, kept them on the roster all year. Had to make a couple. There were a couple times the couple of safeties that they let go. I think at times that's in the moment it surprised people when they waved. Maybe surprised some people when they waved Jarek Reed and DeAnthony Bell when they had kind of some roster crunches, and they kept two undrafted free agent rush ends who weren't really playing a lot. But they did it for now. They did that for the future. Those were guys they felt like they didn't want to lose those guys, see them get claimed by other teams because they feel like they could be a part of it. So they'd be two guys I'd really watch this year to see how they progress, because I think they potentially could be kind of key guys to that pass rush rotation.
Defensive line, you mentioned the edge rushers, right? Having to pay attention there. I forgot who Brock and Salk had somebody on the morning show from Spotrac. What's his name? Stacey?
Oh, Michael Giannetti.
Michael Giannetti. And he was talking about how, it's going to be tough to pay Byron Murphy. And what I tried to highlight was that, there are ways to restructure contracts and create some space or whatnot. Do you foresee signing Byron Murphy being an issue?
Yeah, and I should have mentioned that when I was talking about Darnold as well, because again, that's where you don't just spend all your money right now to zero, because you got the year to year thing here. I'd be shocked if they didn't re-sign Byron Murphy. I would think that that's a guy that they for sure will want to will want to keep there. That'll be the time when Leonard Williams is starting to get up in age a little bit, and Uchenna entering the last. Obviously, Uchenna, they don't play the same position, but just if you're looking at that kind of the defensive front a little bit, where you're going to have to allocate things, I think that's just when you see that turnover of people, and who knows what happens with some of the older guys on the team, and maybe that's when they're no longer on the team. The way you saw it, with the receiver position. They cut Tyler Lockett last year. They knew this was coming. We're going to have to pay Jackson Smith and Jigba a ton of money. The next year after that, we probably can't afford to pay Tyler on his last year out. We're going to have to make that decision. But with Byron, I just think he's so key to what they want to do, and they saw his value this year. I'd be really surprised if they didn't resign him. I'm sure it can look from a cap perspective like a challenge, but I just feel like as we're seeing with JSN and Devon Witherspoon now, I think when there's guys they want to prioritize, they make the moves around that, as we saw with the rest of their free agency this year. You're like, we're going to do whatever it takes to keep these 4 or 5 or 6 core guys, and that's what John Schneider did with that original LOB group. I mean, they kept, Cam, Sherman, Earl, Bobby, Russell, Michael Bennett, Cliff Averill. They kept KJ Wright. They kept all the guys they really identified as the core guys, and then there were guys around that, your Bruce Irvins and some of the people, Malcolm Smith and some people like that, who they felt like, well, sadly, these are the guys who are going to have to go to make sure we keep these 7 or 8 real key guys. And I can't imagine they don't consider Byron Murphy as one of those core guys they'll want to keep around.
He's covering the Seahawks for the Seattle Times. It's Bob Condotta, kind enough to join us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay, thanks all you guys. Yep, bye.
See ya. Let's get to 4 Down territory.
This is 4 Down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, back-to-back listener questions here to start from a texter. Quote, if JSN's so good, why don't defenses double him?
It's a funny question, man, because I wish I had more context from this texter, right? Like, what does a double team look like to you? When's the last time, Stacey, you saw 2 corners line up over a receiver and say, boom, we're going to double? It's not how that goes down, right? That's not sound football. If you are taking 2 defenders and designating them towards a receiver on the outside, there are going to be gaps in there. The only time I've ever seen that is with Calvin Johnson. Only time I've ever seen. I'm sure maybe it's happened before, but that's not what a double team looks like. I think that there are times where essentially Jason is being doubled. Say he's in the slot, has a nickel over him or safety. We call it a bracket. So what one will do is the underneath defender who is over him will ride him to that second level, then pass him off to that safety and then trail him, right? If they're in a trail man or just a man technique. Other times, teams will drop the safety into the middle of the field and play like a robber look at one high safety and then one safety in between the backers in that back safety, and he's just eyeing Jason to see what he's doing, and he's reacting off of him. You're not going to see just 2 DBs line up over JSN and teams say, okay, beat us elsewhere, because you can. You take 1 DB out of that third level, there's so much space there. So there are times that Jason has been doubled, but it's more of like a bracket, or they're passing him off. It's when that robber safety is there, or if it's a too high look, you have a safety, or excuse me, like a nickel on the inside and safety over the top when he's in the slot. On the outside, it's so much harder to double team. Imagine taking a safety or a nickel when Jason's on the outside and moving him outside. So now you're taking away a player from the box as well. You move him outside, it's just not sound football. You're not going to see teams line up 2 guys and double them like that.
It's clear that opposing defenses respect him, considering the ways
cheat
that they
over to
did.
his
Exactly,
side.
the way they do account for him.
Second level, they'll cheat and reroute. He has their undivided attention, trust me.
Okay, second down. Another listener question. Why did we sign JSN so early? Shouldn't we give him a prove-it year?
You said this off air. I think he has proven it. He has 2 years over 1,000 yards.
Yeah, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons.
1,700 yards last year, Offensive Player of the Year. But also, you signed him early because he could be even more expensive the following year. Like Bob just said, these prices are going up every single year. Why are they going up? Because receivers are valued a bit more every year, and the salary cap goes up. So let's just say this is a gamble, right? You're projecting that JSN is going to have another good season. 1,700 yards, I wouldn't count on it. But a good season, an all-pro or Pro Bowl type of season, yeah, I'm sure he'll be a candidate for that. So you pay him now at $40-something million a year, because if you wait another year, it might be 48, it might be 50. You just don't know because the market is going to react to what's going on around the league, what agents are able to get. So this is why you sign a guy like him early, and then you backload it. So like in 29, 30, the cap is going to be about $40-something million. You can restructure that and get things going. You just want your player to feel like he's financially secure, like he's appreciated for his back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, that you feel like he's going to be able to continue that trend, and let's get this done now so now we can start moving money around for the future where you got to sign a Byron Murphy if you're going to sign Leo again. That's why you get him done early, because he could be worth a lot more next year rather than this year.
Just in general, it's not how contracts are done. And I completely understand the idea of like, okay, well, if we're paying him off of an offensive player of the year, first team All-Pro, unanimous first team All-Pro season, I want to know he can do that again. But it's like, well, now you're setting a very impossible bar. So now he's got to get 1,600 plus yards for you to think that he's worth it. No, it's what have you done for me lately? But that can include last year.
Yeah.
It's still okay. Third down. What position have the Hawks gotten a great return?
At the tight end spot, and I think it's only going to get better. They're only spending 3.24% of their cap on the tight end, and mainly it's because you got A.J. Barner on a rookie deal, you got Arroyo on a rookie deal, and Sauber, you got him further low. A.J. was their number 3 receiver on the team when it comes to yards, and number 2 when it comes to touchdown passes. Another position that eventually you're going to have to pay. If A.J. Barner continues, if he just puts together another season like last year, you're going to have to pay him as well. But so far, you've gotten so much out of that position. We know that the Hawks like to run that 12 personnel, 11 personnel, and they have the guys to do it. So I was just looking at, because I was looking at the receivers and how much they hit towards the cap, started looking at other positions in the tight end spot. They are, between them and the running backs, they're the 2 cheapest positions. Now, if K9 were here, obviously that cap hit would be a bit more. It's at 2.65 right now, but tight end's at 3.24, and your number 3 receiver is part of that mix. And I think that will continue next year. You'll need less out of Cooper Kupp. You get more out of A.J. Barner. Maybe Horton develops as well. I just like where they are with their positions. I know they spent a lot on the wideout spot. I think you'll get a return out of those guys as well. But that tight end spot, man, has been really good for the Seahawks last year.
Also, I'm glad you pointed out, because for how many people understandably outside of Seattle are going to go, uh-oh, you're spending so much money on JSN, you're ignoring the places where they're getting a great return. Like, it's not like they have no tight ends. They're getting good value there. Good point. Fourth down. We were just joined by Seattle Times Seahawks reporter Bob Condotta. Anything stand out from that conversation?
Yeah, pass rusher needs some attention. We figure they'll address that during the draft, hopefully. I say address that during the draft. Running backs, edge rusher, like they have a whole bunch of picks. So John's going to have to go to work. He said it's important that they paid their tackles early. They paid them early, got that out the way. You rolled the dice on Cross and Abe. Abe was banged up a bunch the last couple seasons. Charles Cross has been consistent. And then he says, look, you can't be the highest paid at every position, so you might as well just go for it. If there's one position that you feel strongly about, which JSN, if we're going off of just accolades, we're going off of what anyone has done in their career. Yes, he's only been there 3 years. He's the best player on your team, so he should be paid accordingly. There are guys who have bigger impact. Defensive line group has a bigger impact. Linebackers do as well, but individually, he's probably the best player on your team if we're just looking at stats as of late. So I think that's why Bob is like, well, might as well go for it. Right. He's the best on your team. You're not going to be the highest paid at every position. As long as you address them, you should be good to go. And shocked if they don't find a way to pay Byron Murphy. They're going to pay Byron Murphy. Spotrac guy was on, and there are concerns as of now because the money's just standing still. It's like still water, right? But once things get flowing, you get moving, you figure out guys, are they declining? Are they on the up and up? Like, Leo's going to get older, and you're going to have to figure out what to do with him. So it's hard just to look at the team as it stands now and say this is going to be the team next year, because it clearly isn't going to be the team next year. We've already let 4 players go. It's a year-by-year type of deal. Even if you do sign a guy to 3 or 4 years, you know how the league goes. They will cut you. They will find ways to replace you and move money around. So I think it's important that people just look at it year by year instead of the length of someone's contract.
Coming up in 30 minutes, the one thing we're curious to see when it comes to Cal Raleigh season, and no, it's not home runs. Before we get to that, though, coming up next, we really can't tell if Cam Scatterby was joking with this one.
Darnold has time. Gonna let it fly.
Signed.
JSN is out there.
Sealed.
JSN has it. Touchdown! Seahawks!
delivered. Jackson Smith and Jigba signs a massive extension, 4 years, $168 million.
The NFL's highest paid wide receiver ever.
How about that?
Complete coverage at seattlesports.com.
Sam Darnold wouldn't have the season that he had if he didn't have JSN over there.
And the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I would rather get my teeth drilled than go to a car dealership. But good news, that changed because of Wayscar Ford in Auburn. First time I went out there, I was nervous. Just being at a car dealership brings pressure. I feel like I'm going to get ripped off or pressure to make a decision that day that I'm just not ready for. But instead, I felt immediately comfortable because there's absolutely no pressure at Wayscar Ford, period. And they back it up with a 5-day or 500-mile, 100% no questions asked money-back guarantee. Wayscar Ford is only going to sell you a car if you want to buy one. So if you want a low-pressure experience, Wayscar Ford in Auburn is where you need to go. By the way, they don't just have Fords, they have everything. Take it from me or check out their reviews. They have thousands of 5-star reviews you can buy with confidence. Wayscar Ford's been family-owned and operated in downtown Auburn for over 103 years. And trust me, you don't stay in business that long by not taking care of people. See it for yourself at Wayscar Ford in Auburn. That's wayscarford.com.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, and a full service history, all at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Bucky's.com today and drive with confidence. Bucky's.com.
Bracket busted? Don't worry, Madness Maniacs, you still have a shot at winning. Head to seattlesports.com/win to fill out your 16-team bracket. It's not too late to join in on the fun. It's the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. And the winner of the 16-team competition will win a $500 Visa gift card. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win. Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a warehouse operations manager.
Where are the forklifts?
Sold them. Too expensive. We're using scooters now.
So you expect us to move a 2-ton pallet on a scooter?
Just lean into it. Put your back into it, people.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
It's about time delivery worked on your schedule. Same day, next day, or scheduled in advance. However you plan it, the Home Depot delivers the whole job. From drywall to doors, plumbing to paint, we'll get it there when you need it. Because on the job site, timing is everything. You order, we deliver. It's that easy. The Home Depot Pro. It's about time.
Don't miss the John Schneider Show, presented by Silver City Brewery.
I truly believe defense wins championships.
Thursdays at 4, only on Seattle Sports.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
It is The Timeline on Bump and Stacy, and we are reading you the top stories floating across our own timelines. What's trending in the world of sports today? Can I talk about maybe not the most trending story, but just one I saw during the break? I'm going a little off script here. I think we've strayed too far from the light sometimes with ballpark food. And I'm not talking about, oh my God, this hot dog covered in Fruity Pebbles and ice cream and whatever. Like, when they make it like kind of weird. We wrapped a corn dog in, what's it called? The cotton candy. Like,
that was a thing?
No, but I'm saying, I know we get weird with ballpark food. We
it.
get a little crazy with it sometimes, and I totally get it. And sometimes I see that stuff, like when they had the cotton candy burrito, and I'm like, I try it. This is what I mean, though. I just saw an Atlanta reporter post something that they're selling at Braves games this year, and it's a burger. And the burger, in theory, sounds fine. It's got 2 eggs, jalapenos, a cool-looking sauce. Fine, not thinking anything of it. It's 2 pounds of beef.
2 pounds.
Yeah, share that. A lot
of beef.
Right?
Also, there's no way that's not a $60 burger.
It's got to be. Nah, I give 40.
You know what I mean, though? I'm like, we're getting a little too far. We've strayed too far.
Isn't that part of the nostalgia of eating at a ballpark, though? You're going to have some weird stuff. Like, they got crickets. Crickets at T-Mobile. Have you had those?
They've had those. Right?
They've had
those. I know, but
those,
where else do people just serve up crickets, though?
Mexico. I don't know. Aren't they Mexican cuisine?
I don't know.
Like a specialty? And
no clue.
I don't know.
We never tried
it when I was there. But
You had them?
Yeah.
You spent money
on
crickets.
No, we got them for free.
I've had the crickets at the ballpark.
What does it taste like?
Nothing. Crunchy,
yeah, it's salty
flavor. Yeah. It doesn't taste bad. It's just kind of I had them in a quesadilla.
Really?
Yeah, yes.
Wow.
But point being, this isn't even one of the crazier things. I just think it's a massive waste of money and waste of food. You don't need 2 pounds of beef in a serving. You simply don't. I know we're really protein heavy right now as a society, but like
everything's got protein.
Everything's got to have protein,
Starbucks got to
burn fat
protein.
on autopilot. I get it, but like we got to. That a separate thing is that we're focusing way too much on protein, just in general. Like everyone's just protein this, protein that. Like it's important.
You got to get a lot of protein.
Yeah, but the focus that we have on it is just. This is what I'm talking about. 2 pounds of beef in a sitting is crazy.
So what is it exactly?
It's just a burger, but it's 2 pounds.
You have a picture of
that's
that
gotta be $100. Yeah, I'll send it to you. Let me get to the actual stories here. We can't tell if Cam Scattaboo, I'm on the fence. Curtis thinks he was serious.
I think he is. Yeah.
I think he might have been joking. So this was on a podcast he was on that aired over the weekend.
You think CTE is a real thing? No. It's an excuse. I think asthma's an excuse too. Yeah. Is that a hot take? No, that's a good take. That's valid? Yes, asthma's fake. Is there anything worse than when you're in 4th grade and someone's huffing and puffing, you're just soft? Yeah, just literally be better. Breathe air.
So when he said breathe air, and it sounds like the reporter, or if he's a reporter, I don't know, the host, is kind of joking. I thought maybe he was kidding. The news bit is that he's released an apology, Cam, on social media. He said, I recently did an interview and had a lapse in judgment, which resulted in me making a tasteless joke about CTE and asthma. It was never my intention to downplay the seriousness of head injuries or asthma. He didn't write this. I sincerely apologize to anyone who was offended by my remarks, and I assure you that I'll be more mindful and respectful going forward. Much love.
I think that sometimes in those podcast settings, you get caught up in the moment and you're like, oh, I'm just joking with the bros. You are, but that joke is going to be leaked to the masses. Because there are some things that I will say around the homies that I will not say around anybody else because it feels safe, because it feels like we can just be our meathead selves right now and just be dumb dudes. I think that's what happened right here is he forgot there's a camera, there's a mic, and this is going to be put out. I think he has to. There's too much research out there for him not to believe.
Do you think he was kidding? Do you think that? So I thought that the host was being sarcastic, right? Do you think it's real? Like, there's no way I think he's trying to be Barstool. Like, he's trying to be silly.
He's trying to be funny.
He's trying to be funny. The bit isn't working in this one, but maybe I'm seeing limited context. And then Cam goes along with it. And then when he says, just breathe.
Yes.
When he's talking about asthma, I think am I giving him too much credit and thinking he's being sarcastic?
I think he is. That's what bros
I think
just breathe.
Dumb.
Curtis thinks he's
That's
just
some
dumb.
stuff we would just say.
My one interaction with Cam Scattaboo at Super Bowl week, he was at the Bounty Paper Towels display, and he was literally licking the window to, I guess, show
a lot of
the
people could do that.
effectiveness of the Bounty Paper Towels. Licking windows is something my 2-year-old does.
I mean,
this man collects an NFL paycheck.
Curtis.
And went to ASU, by the way.
That's what I was going to say.
That's what it is.
Like,
I knew where this was going. And he's a scum.
We know
right.
frat bros who will do some frat bro type of stuff.
He is frat bro-y.
Yeah.
He's bro-y.
It is what it is. I think that like say if I'm around like my closest friends of 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And one of them has an asthma attack while he's using an inhaler, we're telling him just to breathe. Just breathe, dog. Come on.
Which is funny. I'm sorry. If you're getting really sensitive when around your friends, and I'm talking about not like he's dying, but like I get the tongue-in-cheek nature of like a purposely inappropriate joke. Like the joke is that it's not funny, but I don't know, man. What's the latest you think he's eaten a crayon in life?
Last week.
I've never had a crayon in my life. Can I just say that, not to brag, but like I've never eaten a crayon.
You probably have.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
I don't remember.
No, I was always a really smart child, really smart baby, and a picky eater. I think he's maybe getting into double digits.
Double digit crayons?
No, double digit age. I think there might have been a
10
10-year-old eating a crayon in this situation.
Oh man,
I'm just saying. Home plate ump Bill Miller was caught on a hot mic during an ABS replay over the weekend, and he really, really didn't want his strike call reversed.
Mooney takes a ball, and Patrick Bailey's challenging this one.
San Francisco is challenging the ball call. Please be a strike.
Ooh. That one is, what is that?
It's a tiny bit low.
The call is correct. San Francisco has no remaining challenges.
He just wants to be right.
Well, it's like the pleading of, please be a strike.
That's something you say in your mind. You know, you don't really say it out loud. But he wants to be right. I could imagine if I were an ump and anything I've done was challenged, yeah, I'd want to be right. I'm like, I hope they get that one wrong.
Yeah.
It's an ego thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Credit, maybe, to the Houston Rockets announcers, next story, for trying to work in Gen Z slang to their recent broadcast.
Are they mogging, Craig?
They are,
Yes.
yeah. And this was some frame mogging there by Alper and Shingun after some jester gooning.
Oh, my goodness, fun.
Jock picked up his third foul.
But
said fun. Isn't this fun?
Neat. Neat.
If I don't even know what you're talking about, it's a reach because I have teenagers in my house.
What's mogging? Can a Gen Z text in?
You're asking the wrong people.
Matt,
Stacey.
do you know? I know you're a young
Matt's
millennial.
in his 30s as well.
Yeah, but I'm online
You're on the
too
you're on the
much.
border though.
He's
You're on the
online.
border. You're in the late 90s.
Like, mogging is like what peacocking used to be.
Oh, okay, so like kind of.
Like if you're taller than someone, you're height mogging them by being taller.
Oh, I kind of like it.
That I know this.
Wow.
I should know
Mogging.
this.
Oh, I'm gonna
Frame
start.
mogging would then be like you're hogging the picture frame?
No, frame mogging is like literally your frame, like your build. Like if you're wider shouldered than someone, you're frame mogging them.
Oh, okay. So let's say that like Bump's outfit was way cooler. He'd be hat mogging me right now because his is like this cool cap and mine's just a boring one.
Basic.
Okay, well, we didn't need to use the word basic. I think we could have just said simple or classic.
I felt it was necessary in this context.
Wow, I learned a new thing.
Mogging.
Am I going to say it too much? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Bryan Walters joining us at noon. Before we get to that, one thing we're curious about when it comes to Cal Raleigh this year, it's not his home runs.
Sure, it snowed like less than 2 weeks ago. But you could eat peanuts, Cracker Jacks, even fish and chips out of a souvenir ferry boat in any weather. Thursday, it's opening day for the Mariners.
Here at T-Mobile Park.
We're live from Soto all day with Bump and Stacy starting at 10. Then it's Wyman and Bob live from Hatback Bar and Grill starting at 2. Ahead of the Mariners and Guardians at 7:10. Listen wherever you are on the Seattle Sports app.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
What in the world is going on?
You didn't hear? You can get iPhone 16e at Cricket Wireless for $0 when you switch.
iPhone 16e for $0.
No way. Yeah, and it has Apple Intelligence so you can clean up your photos.
Clean up your photos. Okay, but what's the hurry? The offer ends soon.
What they said.
Switch to Cricket and get iPhone 16e for $0 with no activation fee. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line and port in on the $60 Supreme Unlimited plan. First month service charge and tax to its sale. Terms and restrictions apply. See store for details.
You could file your taxes on a basic free service, which is fine. But are you okay with fine? Because when it's your money on the line, do you really want to guess if you missed a credit or hope the math is right? Get the confidence of TurboTax for free right on the Intuit Credit Karma app. Free Fed and free state for simple 1040s only. Around 37% of filers qualify. See details at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for EITC, CTC, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Your old water heater's starting to peter. DayandNight.net. Day and Night has $150 off installation of any new water heater, including tankless, backed by a free lifetime warranty.
Hi, I'm Bruce. When your old water heater leaks or fails, the damage could be catastrophic. Whether you need an emergency replacement or you're planning ahead before it leaks, give us a call and we'll help you get into hot water again.
Get $150 off installation of any new water heater. DayandNight.net.
Home of your Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Seattle Sports.
It's funny how you get used to things in not so ideal condition around the house. It's Dave Wyman here, and for me, it was old windows. After 20 years in our home, virtually every window had a broken seal. We got used to cold drafts, outside noises, and condensation. And if you're in the same boat, use this spring to say goodbye to the old, dreary windows and hello to your new exclusive windows from Harley Exteriors. Right now, they're having a spring cleaning sale to complete your home makeover. If you buy 10 windows, you can choose between 20% off your entire project or get a free door. On top of that, make 0 payments and accumulate 0 interest for up to 12 months for qualified buyers. Harley Exteriors windows are a massive upgrade, manufactured right here in the Pacific Northwest and exclusive to Harley Exteriors. Call 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com. Schedule your free consultation today at harleyexteriors.com.
Bracket busted? Don't worry, Madness Maniacs, you still have a shot at winning. Head to seattlesports.com/win to fill out your 16-team bracket. It's not too late to join in on the fun. It's the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. And the winner of the 16-team competition will win a $500 Visa gift card. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win. Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Bryan Walters joining us in 15 minutes. Before we get to it, the one thing we're curious to see when it comes to Cal Raleigh this year, it is not how many home runs he hits. Frankly, I think that's like the number one question when it comes to Cal Raleigh this year. No, instead, it's how his load management is going to go. Last year, Bump, I forget, Seattle Times had a feature on this really late in the season. It was something like JP, Cal, and maybe one other player were leading the league at their positions in innings played. So one late critique / question we had for Dan Wilson is like, man, he's an old school guy. I think that players really respect that about him, and clearly they really like Dan, but can you manage the time that these guys have out there the same way that you would in the 90s and early 2000s? I don't think so. And this is a team that wants to play through October.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we got to talk about load management a little differently now. To me, Bump, that is by far the number one question outside of just home runs that I have when it comes to Cal is, all right, well, what's load management look like? How much are you actually going to put him out there?
Yeah, Cal had 705 plate appearances. Julio, 710. Obviously, you need these guys to play as much as possible, but with the catcher position, man, you got to monitor it. How old is Cal going to be this year? He is
20. Well, he's 29. He'll turn
29.
30. Right?
Yeah, he's 29. So, I mean, he's getting to that age where that body starts to change a bit. When I was in my 20s and my dad used to tell me, hit 30, things are going to start happening. I'm like, you tripping. Hit 30, things started happening. Then he told me, you hit 40, other things are going to happen. Literally, the day I hit 40, things started happening. I'm like, dang.
You fell into a pair of Skechers.
The body is changing. And I don't play catcher. You know, I'm not behind the plate for 2.5, 3 hours. Taking the beating that he does, right? He got hit by so many baseballs last year. I felt bad for him every time, but he finds a way. He locks back in, and he continues to play on, and he wants to. And that's the thing. He wants to be out there, and you're happy that he wants to be out there. But that's why you have a backup catcher, man. I think that you do have to monitor him a bit differently.
Yeah.
You do have to listen to him, but you have to listen to these trainers, and he's got to find a way to be okay with missing a day or two.
Yep.
You know, and but that's really on Cal. But that's something that you don't want to take away from him. You don't want to have to ask a guy, hey, you think you can go today? No, you want a guy who wants to be out there every single day. You got to drag him off the diamond. But yes, that's something that needs to be monitored.
Well, and look, we all like to romanticize a guy that doesn't want to come off the field. But let's be real. Cal was not defensively his absolute best self best self in the postseason. We were talking with Shannon about this in an on-air conversation a while ago, certainly after the postseason, but we would talk about Cal and load management, and she was like, yeah, you could see the wear and tear that some of these guys had. I mean, Cal had at the plate, like, still a great postseason. Like, he was one of their more consistent hitters, but you could see the wear and tear that many games behind the dish takes on your body. So we can all think, like, load management, that's for the NBA, but, like, sorry, you have to consider it when it comes to this team and when it comes to, frankly, one of your most important players. This was John Morosi with Wyman and Bob.
How many games does he start? And that's probably one of the biggest questions for Dan Wilson and his staff is, what do you do with Cal's workload? Of course, he had to get ready earlier to be able to be ready to go for the World Baseball Classic, coming off of all those games he played all the way into late October. I think managing Cal's workload and maybe getting some more spot for Garver will be, I think, one of the major choices that Dan Wilson is faced with during the course of the season.
Did backup catcher just quietly become an even more important position for Seattle?
Yeah, and you're getting it for a price that seems a bit more realistic. Last year, you were paying a bit much there. This is why you bring back Mitch. You got Harry, who's with the Reds now. Who's Harry with? Harry Ford.
I don't remember.
Nationals.
Thank you. Keep getting those colors.
They wear red.
They do wear red. A red-colored team.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a conversation you need to have with Cal prior to the season starting. This isn't something that you get into the season, and obviously you're monitoring him, but you're asking him to take a day off, and he just doesn't want to, right? Because you're going with the season with a certain mentality. This is the way I'm going to be used. This is how I want to contribute to my baseball team. So they need to have those conversations early with Cal, and they're probably already having them with Cal. There's a reason why Cal reached out to Mitch to make sure that he was interested and wanted to come back to this ball club, because I feel like Cal trusts him. Like, if I'm not going to be in, let's get my guy Mitch, who's been with this rotation before, who understands the movement and all that good stuff. But it's important. Cal, you are that important to this team that if you have a little boo-boo, just a little boo-boo, we got to sit you down.
206, boy, I hope we learned our lesson about Mitch Garver. I mean, I think the lesson learned, correct me if I'm wrong, about Mitch Garver is that he's certainly not a middle-of-the-order bat. Like, you can't look at him to bring any kind of pop to your lineup. I don't think the lesson learned is that he's not a perfectly suitable backup catcher.
Yeah.
I did not learn that, like, you can't trust Mitch Garver to be a backup catcher. He just can't do it. No, he's fine. So much so that Cal told him, like, reach out to the Mariners. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
See if you can get something going to come back here. He has presumably a good relationship with the pitching staff. They went with him, Bump, like you said, as their backup. The lesson learned is, like, don't overpay him for a role that, like, he's not going to fill.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what you're asking him to do this year at all.
This makes sense. This works. This feels right. He's reliable for the most part. Last year, he contributed at times. No, this is the perfect spot for Mitch and getting paid properly. That's the most important part is let's not overpay for someone who's not going to be used more than 20% of the year.
Yeah, I think we all like this kind of like tough guy, blue-collar guy mentality with players, and we tend to really like the idea that, like, oh, Cal doesn't want to get out of there. But, like, first of all, based on conversations we've had, it sounds like Cal's more open to it than we thought.
Mm-hmm.
But secondly, Cal needs to, because for the first time in a long time, you're entering the season with the expectation that your division could be more easily won than you think. And with the expectation that you're playing deep into October. You need days off for Cal.
Cal just needs to be okay with, in receiver terms, catching a football and getting down. Like, don't take the big hit. Like, listen to it. Your game changes as you get older, and you already play the toughest position in baseball physically, in my opinion. But that's something that needs to happen mentally. Like, you change the way. What was I doing the other day? I was walking. I think I went on a walk, and there was this like construction zone or something going on. The way I analyzed that construction zone before I walked by it, when I was in my younger years, I just would have walked through it and been straight.
If I die, I die.
Right? Now I'm looking at it saying, all right, we're probably going to go to the right side there. This is a hazard to the left. Just make sure we're good. Look both ways. Everybody good? Hey, construction guy, am I good to go? Let's get it. You'll mature that way, Kyle.
I am asking a former receiver whether it's possible to overpay wide receivers. Bryan Walters joins us next.
The sounds of spring have already begun.
Mariners spring training, best week of our year.
But if you listen close enough, you can still hear echoes of last fall.
And the Mariners are going to play for the American
these guys raise the bar.
This isn't a fun, cute story anymore. This is who we want to be.
You guys ready?
Thursday night, the Mariners host the Guardians on opening day at T-Mobile Park. Hear every pitch wherever you are on the Seattle Sports app.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you, guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Home is more than a place to live. It's where the best of life unfolds, where possibility sparks, where community grows, where lives take shape. At the Master Builders Association of King and Snohomish Counties, that belief drives the work our builders, remodelers, and tradespeople do every day. Because when we build more homes, we're building so much more than housing. We're making room for what matters most. Learn more at roomforwhatmatters.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Michael is in his 70s, and he was dealing with an injury.
I had tears in my rotator cuff. Just the discomfort of going about everyday life. Day-to-day things were not comfortable or almost impossible, but just being inactive was troubling.
He was in a great deal of pain.
I started trying to learn how to brush my teeth with my left hand, and you can't do it. It was ridiculous.
Searching for answers, Michael found Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine, where he underwent stem cell therapy.
You know, I played basketball Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and so I'm getting my shot back. It's not back to where it was, but hey, before I couldn't even do anything. So 100% improvement of what it was.
Wow, that's great to hear. Would you recommend stem cell therapy to others?
I can share without a doubt that it helped me, and I'm grateful for that.
Whether it's a shoulder, hip, or knee, before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax. They know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
The countdown is on.
2 more days until opening day, Thursday, against the Guardians at T-Mobile Park. First pitch at 7:10 on the home of the American League West champion Mariners.
KIRO AM Seattle.
Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Jake Bobo isn't going anywhere. Seattle's wide receiver, a restricted free agent, signed a 2-year offer sheet from the Jags on Friday, which the Seahawks had 5 days to match, and they did. According to NFL Network, that offer sheet is worth $5.5 million with $4.5 guaranteed.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Coming up in 30 minutes, taking a look around the NFL and talking, and it's so weird, like regularly scheduling NBA conversations now that we're talking about Seattle is an expansion market. That vote is happening tomorrow. We'll be talking with Chris Mannix coming up in an hour with some of our lingering questions there. Joining us right now, Bryan Walters on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. B-Walt, how's it going?
Oh, we're doing great, guys. How are you guys doing?
We're good. We began the show by one of the conversations we had talking about whether or not Seattle can pay wide receivers that much. And I know that I'm co-hosting with a receiver, interviewing a receiver, so I'm surrounded here by receivers. However, I wanted to ask what you have to say with the take that I'm sure you've seen before, which is, oh my God, these top paid wide receivers, you don't win Super Bowls with those guys.
Yes, no, I get that take, and I think what we're mostly referencing JSN is my guess with his new deal that he just signed. But look, I've done everything I could to kind of look and be like, why is this not a good deal? Like, where is this negative for the Seahawks? And you look at JSN and the type of receiver he's become and how he's just trended, just getting better and better every single year for the 3 seasons that he's played. His stats have gotten better, and you noticed on the field he has gotten better, from his routes to his hands to this year was catching the deep ball and being explosive. We hadn't really seen that. And it's just, he's just in this upward trajectory of just constantly getting better. And I just think this is a fantastic deal for the Seahawks. I can't knock it. I really can't, because one, I think for the next couple of years, he's still relatively cheap. He's still, what does he make? I think he's a cap hit of $10.6 million or something this year. As far as you're still on the rookie deal, the next season he's got his 5th-year option, and then that new contract comes into play where he's making $42 a year, whatever that number ended up being, and at that point that might seem cheap when some of these newer receivers sign deals. So I don't know. I kind of like this. I like where he's at. I like what he brings, and he's not a receiver that. So far, he's played. I was on with Salk yesterday, I believe, and I was going through it. He's played the maximum number of games that you can actually play in a regular season. He's played 51 games in 3 seasons. He's been available every single game. So he's not a receiver that really has that injury risk either, where you're going to pay him and you're not going to see him. So I think that's one of the biggest things too. You go through some of the main receivers. Puka's played 44 games in the last 3 seasons, but JSN leads the way. With all the top receivers, he leads the way with total games played when it comes to regular season. So that's another perk of it. He's putting up the numbers. He's available to you, and he's just a good locker room dude. Like, he's not. And Stacy, you love this. He's not the diva wide receiver that you guys always talk about. He's not that. He's very team friendly. So I'm just all around. I can't really find anything negative about this deal.
Right now, as it stands, the Seahawks are paying their receiver room the most out of anybody in the league when you throw in Rashid Shaheed in there, obviously. But then the Rams are going to pay Puka, and then who knows how that is going to flip. What do you say to some of the texters who wrote in and say, look, man, that's too much in that receiver room, and you should be putting money elsewhere. Specifically, the offensive line, I reminded them, look, you signed Abe and Charles Cross, you drafted Gray Zabel. I feel like the balance is there, but some people are tripping off of that big number.
I was looking at that. I was kind of going through some of this, going through, your 5 receivers now. That's what you got. You got JSN, you got Cooper Kupp, you got Rashid, you got Bobo, and you got Torrey Horton. Those are going to be your guys. I think that's pretty much locked in. And I was looking at those numbers, and it is kind of outrageous. I don't think I've ever really seen anything like that. I think you can, a lot of times you go to teams and the top 2 guys are getting paid, and then you're kind of battling for that 3, 4th, 5th, and who's going to be that 6th guy, right? And they're kind of almost league minimum deals, or maybe a little extra. But this is quite the different scenario. Cooper Kupp leads the way this year for cap hit, I believe, right? 17 million or something like that is his cap hit. And then he's not a huge cap hit this season. So it's actually, as far as the receivers, from the research I've kind of looked at recently, this season's not a huge cap hit as far as the wide receivers room. If my math is all right and what I've seen and the, how reports are all different everywhere else, but it's about a $40 million cap hit for the wide receivers this season only. Mm-hmm. And then it starts bumping. Then it starts getting outrageous, which is crazy. Like with all these deals going on with Rashid, I mean, you have to imagine that Cooper Kupp, this is probably his last season with Seattle, obviously. I think we all kind of knew that anyway. And Rashid isn't a very, very friendly deal to him as far as after this season. He has a cap hit, and I don't know if all of it becomes guaranteed until February. So there's some decisions to be made there depending on how he does this season. The Bobo deal, I didn't see that one coming. I really didn't at all. And then Torrey Horton's still on a rookie contract. So this year, I think they're okay. It'll be how they juggle this here in the next 2 or 3 years is what they do, especially when the JSN deal comes to fruition.
Yeah, I think anytime we're talking about paying players, it's always a good measure of like, well, are you closer to a Super Bowl with or without JSN? But put it that plainly earlier in the show, and I thought it was fair because if you're talking about the Seahawks being in a Super Bowl window, you don't extend that window by moving on from your best player. I understand people getting nervous about what the cap could look like in 2028 or 9, but you're trying to win a Super Bowl right now, and JSN gets you closer, right?
Yeah, yes, JSN does get you closer. He already got it for you, and you definitely want more. And yes, there was no question about letting JSN go. I think that would be that's absurd to even think that the Seahawks, that JSN would be too expensive for the Seahawks to pay because of the product you get from him on the field. So, and yes, with JSN, this team is much more capable of winning the Super Bowl. There's no question about that. The question, I think before this JSN deal, I was asked the question, who would you, if you had to pick between JSN or Witherspoon, let's say you had to pick between, because those were your superstars. Those are your guys that are going to get the big contract here. If you had to pick between one of them to bring back, and I know they're going to get both of them back, but let's just say you had to pick one. Like, I was going right to JSN. I don't think there was any question about that. Just one, maybe I'm offensive bias, but two, just what JSN brings. He is the identity of that offense. And that's what you get with a guy like JSN. So, yes, you're closer to a Super Bowl with JSN. He brings that ability to you. And, yes, he deserved every single penny of that contract.
Hey, was there a player that that the Hawks did not re-sign, Mafe, K9, Reek, Kobe, that you felt like they should have and you were disappointed that they didn't? At the number, let's say the number that they were given to, because I was talking about how I love Boye Mafe, but I don't think I would have paid him 3 years, $60 million. You know what I mean? I didn't get the production out of it. The potential's there. Any of those guys you felt like should have been signed at the number they were signed for?
I'm right with you with Boye. I thought the production went way down, and I didn't really see huge flashes of what you expected of him, I guess. When what was it, 2 years ago when he started the season with 6 games and 6 sacks or 7 sacks in a row? And then I feel like ever since that, you hadn't seen much from him. So I'm totally okay with him going and getting his $60 million elsewhere and the Seahawks not paying that. That was not surprising to me. I think Kobe Bryant is the one that I go, dang, he was such a solid figure in that defense. I don't think he's a all-pro. I don't think he's, he might be a Pro Bowler alternate at some point but he's just so solid. I just love the way he plays. A little bit of a ball hawk, and he's not afraid to come up and make tackles. And he's always in the right position. I think you saw the defense really elevate when Kobe Bryant was in. I know he was injured for a couple games last season, but you saw the defense when he was in. So Kobe Bryant's the one that I kind of look at what he signed for. What was it, 45? Is that what it was? 3 or 45?
Yeah.
Something along those lines. And I kind of go, well, who's more valuable to this team? And this isn't to knock Rashid Shaheed at all, right? This isn't. I think that's I like that he's back. I really do, for the special teams aspect mostly. But, it's kind of like if I could get Kobe back as opposed to maybe the $51 million for Rashid, if you get Kobe for 45, maybe I would think about that. So that would be the one guy. Not surprised by K9. Like, he's going to do well with the Chiefs. He's fine, but I think he's a kind of a liability when it comes to injuries, getting the majority of the reps. Enrique was a wild card. We all knew that. He's talented as can be, but I don't think ever really lived up to that rookie year he had. So I'm okay with that. I think Kobe Bryant is the one guy I go to and say, dang, I think it would have been really, really, it could have been big time to get him back, because now there's kind of a big hole there with that safety spot, and you just don't know how they're going to fill it.
Hey, Brian, we spoke with NFL draft analyst Trevor Sikkema on our show yesterday about the Rams and Seahawks off seasons so far. First, I wanted to play you what he said. Take a listen.
I would tell you that the Rams are the Super Bowl favorites next year, and I would say that without question. Just because I look at the roster of what they were last year and how close the Seahawks and the Rams were, like that NFC Championship game, that was a Super Bowl. We all knew it.
Sure.
We all knew that was a Super Bowl because those two teams were so close. Well, in this offseason, the Rams have got aggressively better, and I think the Seahawks have objectively, versus what they were last year, taken a step back.
Do you see it the same way, Brian, with the Rams getting aggressively better and the Seahawks getting, he said take a step back, but do you think objectively worse?
No, I don't think the Seahawks have gotten worse. I don't. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with keeping the most guys on your roster that you just won a Super Bowl with. Like, that was their goal. That's what they've done. And I think the guys, like we just talked about, that they let go, they're okay. They're going to be fine without them. The Rams, they're getting older. That's where I look at the Rams as well. They are, Matthew Stafford isn't some spring chicken anymore, right? And you don't know what can happen with him at any point. Devontae Adams, is he back with the Rams? I believe he is, right?
Yeah.
Yep, Devontae's back. He's getting older as well. So some of those talented guys like that, they're getting older. Now, Trent McDuffie, I think, is a huge pickup for him. We all know that. And I like to say that it's probably just that move right there is made for JSN and how the Rams get on top of the NFC West. They need a guy to kind of counter what JSN brings. And that's probably the biggest move, obviously, that you see. So I don't see that those comments being all that true when he talks about the Seahawks getting worse. It's just that I don't see. I think because you also are very young. The Seahawks team is so young, and you expect guys to get better. You expect them to keep improving from what they've done. I mean, Nicky Manori was a rookie this year. And so you're telling me he's not going to get any better? No, he is going to get better, and he's already made a huge splash in this league. Witherspoon's still young, obviously. JSN's still young. They're all these superstars, they're still so young. So they have to get better. Just because you don't sign guys from the outside, free agents that weren't part of this building process, I think that's a good thing that you don't have to do that. I think you're reaping the benefits of your free agents that you signed 2 years ago, that really impacted this team and are still making the impact in that team. And I talked about this a few days ago as well. You sign guys like Sam Darnold, Cooper Kupp, DeMarcus Lawrence, guys like that you've signed, and they're still making an impact on your team. So you are actually at the benefit of not having to go after all these free agents to make your team better because you have the guys that you need.
Hey, what are your thoughts on the running back position as a whole? We know that they don't get paid the most for various reasons. So how do you feel about the way the running back position is valued in this league and the approach that the Hawks are taking when it comes to filling the void? Yeah,
I think that, John Snyder has said that they can find running backs. That's what they can do. They can find running backs, and I agree with that. But I do think there's a tier to the running backs, and I think if you have some of those guys, if you have a guy in that top tier, which I would say there's probably 4 or 5 guys in that top tier, where you got Bijan Robinson, you got McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor. I know I'm probably missing a couple here just off the top of my head trying to do this. Saquon Barkley. If you have like a top tier like that, then I think it's different, because those guys are game changers. Anything after that, I do kind of agree with John Schneider when it comes to running backs. You can find guys, and I think at that point, when you don't have those top tier guys, it's the offensive line that becomes more important. And one thing about the Seahawks this season, kind of going back to them, is you saw this offensive line. Everyone talks about how K9 kind of elevated his game the last half of the season, last quarter of the season maybe. But you look at the offensive line, man, they elevated their game a lot too. Like, they got better. There were times K9 wasn't getting touched till 2, 3, 4 yards down the field. Mm-hmm. They were just getting that much better at these blocking schemes. I think that's kind of where John Schneider's going, and where he's leaning is he's going to get an athlete. He's going to get a guy that can do that can hit the hole like that. But you've got to rely on that offensive line a little bit. So that's kind of where I'm at with the running backs. Now, the Seahawks running back situation right now, I mean, you know that meme that you always get when people text you, and it's like that guy just eating the popcorn, like, what's going to happen? Yeah. Oh, no. Mm-hmm. That's kind of the meme I have with this running back room right now. I have no idea. I really have no clue what they're going to do. A couple guys coming off torn ACLs. You know, I know they signed Emmanuel Wilson. You have Kenny McIntosh. Obviously, well, he's an ACL guy, but coming back. It's just, I don't know. I feel like there's still a big move waiting to happen in that running back room.
He is Bryan Walters, kind enough to join us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Thanks, Bryan.
Thanks, B.
Hey, thanks, guys.
I just realized in calling Bryan, I always call him B-Walt, you know? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like if we have Riz on and I go, thanks, Rick. And then I'm like, that felt weird. I also didn't have the heart to tell him that JSN is actually at the top of the diva board.
He is at
the top. Diva list. You and him are like neck and neck.
Which is crazy to me.
Is it?
Yeah. People would not describe me as a diva.
I mean, that's because people define diva behavior in different ways. If you define diva behavior as someone who's toxic and horrible, then no, of course, Bump and JSN aren't at the top of your leaderboard. But if you describe it as like wearing sunglasses in the hallway, you know what I mean?
So me and Matt are divas.
Being annoyed when people, in first class, try to pass you up. Or no, opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're in first class. Only flying first class at all times.
I don't only fly first class.
Yeah, you've flown business probably.
Yeah. I had to fly. I was in the back last time I traveled, man. I got a ticket late.
The back?
Not the back, but I wasn't as close as I normally am.
I actually read a study that's the safest part of the plane.
It is.
The very, very back row, like in the middle.
Yeah.
That's the safest. That's the place to go if you don't want to die.
That's why you sit there.
Yeah.
Got it.
Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra,
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news.
Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services.
With Bump and Stacy.
Headline number 1, the Seahawks have chosen to match the Jags offer sheet for Jake Bobo. What's the real headline?
More like Jake Dobo. Because he got more money.
More dough.
So more dough. Because dough is like, it's like dollars.
It is.
Dobo, not Bobo.
Can have some dough.
Yeah.
Do
you guys all get it?
All the time.
Did everyone get it?
I think without your explanation, I don't think I would have gotten it.
Someone said that guy eating the popcorn is the meme Bryan talking about Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Well, there's another one. There's another one.
There's a few, yeah.
What if he was talking about Michael Jackson?
He was like, that guy? That guy.
The king of pop.
I wouldn't put it past Bryan Walters to not recognize Michael Jackson.
No, absolutely no way.
He's listening right now.
No, he's
text
not listening. I'm gonna
was
send
the meme Michael Jackson?
Let's do this. Let's send him a picture of Michael Jackson and say, who's this? He'll know. What? You can't not know who Michael Jackson is.
More dough for Bobo. Good for him. Michael Jackson meme. Good for him. He's a special teams guy. He'll make a few plays during the regular season. He's an effort type of dude. Most of your football team is made up of guys like Jake Bobo, so good sign.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, Mike McCarthy said it'd be a great story if he was able to reunite with Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh. What's the real headline?
In other unlikely reunions, Aaron Rodgers and his family. Just feels like 2 reunions we might not see. I hope both happen, frankly.
I think that needs to happen because the NFL has a trend going on right now to where if you're 35 and a football mind, offensive mind, you're probably going to get a chance.
You're a head coach.
You run this now. I cannot imagine Aaron Rodgers bouncing ideas off a 35-year-old and having the 35, especially if it's like his first gig, and you're going at it and you have Aaron Rodgers, a guy who's going to be loud with his opinions, who's going to challenge you. It might honestly be good for you in the long run if you're that young guy, but in the short term, it's like, Aaron, just run what I'm asking you to run. So maybe he needs to go with Mike McCarthy. Go ahead and someone you're familiar with, someone who knows your attitude, your emotions, and all that stuff, your personality, and you'll be able to have a working relationship. I just feel for any young guy who could get a job as an OC, and you got to deal with Aaron Rodgers.
If I asked you to coach Aaron Rodgers with the Steelers to a Super Bowl this season, do you think you could do it?
Of course. We're about the same age, though. It's different.
You'd be like, listen,
well,
he's older than you.
He is older than me, but I ain't in my 30s. Now, if I'm 35, 34, I think I had 40. He put a little more respect on it. But he's still going to look at me like, yeah, I know more than you.
From the 425, a picture of Michael Jackson from what year? I don't think it matters.
No.
I believe that was like Thriller era.
Yeah, it was.
Jackson.
Which would be the most recognizable Michael Jackson. But he was also incredibly famous when he was young. You'd know Kid Michael Jackson.
You should, at least.
No Jackson 5 Jackson.
If you were born.
And you'd know. And then he always kind of looked the same.
Then he looked
white
a little different. A little different.
Oh, I forgot we do this.
Headline number 3. Tiger Woods is back. Sort of. He's competing in tonight's TGL Finals on ESPN. Still keeping quiet about competing next month's Masters. What's the real headline?
If only the Masters could be played on a golf simulator.
Have you ever watched TGL, Stacy?
No.
It's the biggest simulator you've ever seen in your life. And the thing that amazes me, it shouldn't amaze me, but it does, is that when you're playing golf with regular people, you do not stand to the side of them because they can shake that thing and you'll get hit. These guys are so good. There's golfers like literally in the front and to the side of them, just trusting they're going to hit this big old simulator because they are pros. And it blows my mind. That'd be so much pressure on me. I'm shaking it and killing somebody. But this is a good substitute for real golf. And all my simulator champions out there used to go to the back nine parlor in Linwood all the time. It ain't real, dog. You ain't driving at 300. You're not throwing darts at the pin. That putt did not go in. So go out and play some, as Curtis liked to say, touch some grass.
That's right.
Touch some real grass.
Yeah, go outside.
What's funny is that this is a sport played with real grass.
Yeah.
And they're not doing that. What's more sicko?
Actually, they got grass, so they're hitting it off of grass. But they have no wind. You know, like, there are other factors.
Yeah.
That,
what's more sicko behavior, watching competitive golf simulations or the UFL, which I believe is going to start up here.
28th.
Yeah, same weekend.
Ooh.
I think it might be golf simulator.
I think so too, but it's close. It's close. The UFL.
At least it's real football.
It's real football, and what I'll give them is this. Sometimes you want to look and see what a rule looks like, or there are players you recognize. You know, there's some good college players, right?
So
like guys where you're like, oh, I know this. That's what I'm saying, guys, where you're like, oh, I know that guy.
LaVisca's playing that league?
I believe so, yeah. He was the
Pro Bowler.
Seahawks kick returner a year ago.
Yeah.
Remember he took one to the house and then the next week got released?
Yeah, that game against the Jets.
I think that is the correct answer, Curtis. Yeah. It's the golf simulator.
Hey,
and
we do what we have to do.
I was going to say.
I watched the final last night. I'm going to watch the game 2 tonight. Or match 2, I should say. Tigers playing. Numbers are going to be crazy.
We can stop the music, Matt.
Numbers
I'm
are
done
going to be
talking
crazy.
About golf. I'm done.
Let's go, Tigre.
Still to come, talking NBA expansion, I should say, and the Sonics with Chris Mannix. He's going to join us at 1, taking a look around the NFL next.
Darnold has time. Gonna let it fly.
Signed.
JSN is out there.
Sealed.
JSN has it. Touchdown! Seahawks!
delivered. Jackson Smith and Jigba signs a massive extension, 4 years, $168 million.
The NFL's highest paid wide receiver ever.
How about that?
Complete coverage at seattlesports.com.
Sam Darnold wouldn't have the season that he had if he didn't have JSN over there.
And the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
What's up, it's Bump, and when I see daylight saving time on the calendar, I think of one thing. It is finally golf season, and if you're like me, more daylight means more time on the links. I know a lot of you guys listening are counting down to your work weekend for your tee time this weekend. I am too, and I have a course for you to try. It's Loomis Trails. It's in Blaine. It's a hidden gem. It's ranked top 15 in the state by Golf Digest. It's challenging, it's fun, and trust me, it is worth the trip. While you're there, make a weekend out of it and stay at Silver Reef Casino Resort. Unwind in a deluxe room, grab a bite in one of their many restaurants. I prefer the steakhouse and the cantina. There's wall-to-wall sports where you can watch every single basketball game in March and have a lot of fun doing it. You can even get a little special spa package out of it. I've done it. It's great. You should do it too. Silver Reef Casino Resort. Head north on I-5, exit 260. I love it there. You're missing out if you've never been. If you have been, then you got to get back up there this weekend. Book your stay at silverreefcasino.com. That's silverreefcasino.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Your old water heater's starting to peter. DayandNight.net. Day and Night has $150 off installation of any new water heater, including tankless, backed by a free lifetime warranty.
Hi, I'm Bruce. When your old water heater leaks or fails, the damage could be catastrophic. Whether you need an emergency replacement or you're planning ahead before it leaks, give us a call and we'll help you get into hot water again.
Get $150 off installation of any new water heater. DayandNight.net.
This is Brock Heward. Seastar Restaurant and Raw Bar is celebrating 24 years as Bellevue's go-to for fresh, seasonal seafood, and me and my family's as well. My good friend Chef John Howie delivers excellence behind every single plate, and it doesn't matter. Local oysters, sushi, cedar plank salmon, generous portions, polished service, and meals that become lasting memories. Right now, 3-course dinners in the lounge starting at just $50. Seastar, the dining experience you remember. SeastarRestaurant.com.
We know finding a company to trust with your home is a big decision, and one we look forward to earning with incredible service, top quality products, and lifetime warranties. Adrian here, owner of Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Our windows are feature-rich with our sound package that reduces noise by 50%, clean glass technology, and added protection with our exclusive First Guard 3-layer security glass. Learn more about all of these features at lakewashingtonwindows.com. Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
Don't miss the John Schneider Show, presented by Silver City Brewery.
I truly believe defense wins championships.
Thursdays at 4, only on Seattle Sports.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and I can see clearly now. It's amazing. Let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for a refractive lens exchange, or RLE. Dr. Kopstein started K2 Vision with Dr. King from King LASIK, the most experienced LASIK surgeon in the Northwest. King LASIK plus K2 Vision equals freedom vision for every stage of life. No glasses, contacts, readers, or cataracts. So if you're somebody that struggles with distance vision and now you always need a pair of reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the capper. You're never going to develop a cataract. I'm somebody that needed readers in every room of the house. I needed to see the scoreboard out at ball games. I just couldn't see clearly. That has all changed thanks to RLE. Whether it's LASIK, EVO ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors to point you in the right direction. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Move over, Curtis's Conspiracy Corner. It's time for Mike Florio's Conspiracy Corner. Super Bowl 62 is in early 2028, but it doesn't have a date set yet, and that's a little weird. They plan these out years in advance and announce them years in advance. Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio thinks it's for a very specific reason.
Super Bowl 62 in Atlanta, February of 2028. They don't have a date for that game yet, and it's unheard of to be less than 23 months away from a Super Bowl and not know when it's going to be played. You got to have a convention center for the whole week. You got to have how many thousand hotel rooms. Right. They usually know by now. The reason they don't have a date, I'm told, they're holding it open in case they get to 18 games by 2027 and they need to slip it back a week or so.
I'm not shocked at all by that. I'm absolutely buying what he's selling.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't they have a date set? It doesn't guarantee it, but it gives them room to adjust if they have to. And I'm not mad at the 18-game season. I know players might be. When I was in the CFL, we played 18, 19 games. So I have some experience doing it. But, yeah, makes complete sense. Not a conspiracy.
How long do you guys think until, I know Mike Florio is implying that the league is then expecting it to be relatively soon. How long before you guys think we see 18-game seasons?
I think right when Florio says
2028 season?
Yeah, the 27 season.
7 season?
So,
oh, yeah, early 2028, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely happening.
Yeah, it checks out. Does Lamar Jackson want to be in Baltimore long term? ESPN's Adam Schefter says that Jackson isn't in any big hurry to get that contract extension done.
Lamar, I do believe, wants a long-term deal in Baltimore. I just think that Lamar operates on his own time schedule. He likes to do things when he wants to do things. And Baltimore's been ready all along, but Lamar just, again, operates at his own speed. I do think that there will be something. I don't think that he's in any rush to get something done. I don't think it's an issue. I don't think it's related to him not wanting to be in Baltimore or anything like that. I don't think people should be reading anything into that. I just think it's one of these things that Lamar operates on his time schedule, period.
Take from that.
He's also his own agent. So he's not going to move the same way that a player would move it if they did have an agent helping him out. Why wouldn't he want to be there in Baltimore for the long run? But maybe he's giving himself some time in case things change. You got a new head coach over there. What if they don't vibe? I would keep my options open, too, if I was Lamar, because you are a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. You haven't been able to get it done there. What if there's a situation that pops up that you feel like is more likely that you go to a Super Bowl and get a chance there? Who knows? But there are some things to factor in. He's his own agent. You got a new coach over there, and maybe he wants to give himself some options.
Another free agent running back is off the board, and he's not going to Seattle. The Falcons are signing Brian Robinson Jr. I know that we had our eye on him as a potential fit here with the Seahawks, but he instead goes to Atlanta. Honestly, Bump, once they signed Emmanuel Wilson, I was like, oh, does that maybe rule out someone else? But instead, he's going to Atlanta. A heads up for fantasy football owners. Be very careful which B. Robinson you end up drafting with the Falcons.
Yeah, especially if you're doing one of the live ones where all it has is B on it.
You gotta be
on the
careful.
Sticker. You gotta be sure. You gotta be sure you're getting the right guy. That's a nice combo they have over there with Bijan and Brian. good luck. Who's going to be your quarterback? How's that situation going to look? Worst case scenario, you know that you should be able to put the ball on the ground and then tote it.
All right. Well, the Baltimore Ravens, 24-hour trade saga for Max Crosby is kind of weird. We still don't completely have answers. We may never truly know. But Chris Long has a theory. He thinks it was just a case of buyer's remorse.
I do think the Ravens had buyer's remorse. I do think they got on Amazon at 1 a.m. and they were shopping high, dude. We've all done it. 3,500. What time did you order this telescope? No, send it back. It was like a time that I ordered one of those 10-foot skeletons for Halloween, the things you put in your yard. And Meg legitimately made me send it back.
Look, I don't know that a $3,500 telescope is what I'm ordering. But, Chris, I feel you. I've made some Amazon purchases when you're bored and you're thinking, this would be cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's when you just put it in your cart and you come back the next day and you figure out if you really want this or not. You don't necessarily have to buy it.
Yeah. We've got a few new rule proposals from the NFL Competition Committee. You ready to hear a few of these?
Yeah.
I'm going to run through the bullets. I'm just going to go all at once. Okay, so from Tom Pelissero, 5 rule changes to be considered at next week's annual meeting. 1, allowing league personnel to consult with officials, on-field officials, when considering disqualifications for flagrant football acts and non-football acts without being called on the field. Okay. So being able to go up and consult with on-field officials. Okay.
Yeah.
2, for 1 year only to allow the NFL officiating department to correct clear and obvious misses made by on-field officials that impact the game in the event that there's a work stoppage involving in-game officials represented by the NFL Referees Association.
Most definitely.
So this is allowing, if we have fill-in refs, that the NFL officiating department can correct obvious mistakes on the field.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
fine.
with that.
Again, maybe just don't go to the backup refs, but... okay, 3 others. 3, to permit the kicking team to declare an onside kick at any time during the game. Let them play. They changed it more recently to be only at a certain point in the fourth quarter. Let them play.
That means
Get
nothing.
that onside kick in the first half.
That means nothing.
Yeah.
How many of those are recovered anyway? Less than 5%.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Let them play. 4, to eliminate the kicking team's incentive to intentionally kick the ball out of bounds when kicking off from the 50-yard line. And to modify kickoff alignment requirements for the receiving team players in the setup zone. I feel like I don't understand that.
You got to have a certain amount of guys on that front line. I forgot what the number is. So pretty much just allowing teams to be more creative with how they configure their formations on the kick return team.
How do you feel about all the 5 of these rule proposals?
They're fine.
Yeah,
They're
nothing
legit.
juicy, nothing exciting, nothing crazy where it's like, you're allowing.
Mm-hmm.
No more. Gone are the days when we got to challenge no calls for defensive pass interference or challenge defensive pass interference. Remember what a thrill that was for a single year? Wow, what a time to be alive.
What a time.
Not this time, though. Next up, after 14 seasons, former All-Pro linebacker and Super Bowl champ Levante David has announced his retirement. He spent all 14 years in the league with Tampa Bay. That just doesn't happen anymore.
No, that's great. You saw when he called the press conference, or when I saw that he called the press conference, I felt like this was going to come. He's the only active player in NFL that has more tackles than Bobby Wagner. So we'll see if Bobby can pass him up. But no, heck of a run, man. 14 years with the same squad. Was an all-pro or Pro Bowl type of dude.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him.
How many does Bobby need, roughly, to get the new record?
He's like 300, 400, something like that. He needs to play a couple more years.
Yeah, I was going to say. If it was like 80, you got
he ain't
it.
that close.
Oh, man. So this would be all-time.
Mm-hmm.
Tackles ever.
Ever in the world, Craig.
I mean, Bobby, he's 35-ish, I think.
Sure.
I think he's born in 90, I'm pretty sure. 90 or 91, if I remember. Because I remember he's a year behind KJ.
Bobby has 1,150. Levante Davis in front of him at number 4 with 1,172. And then top dog Ray Lewis has 1,568.
Oh, yeah, he's not getting that, but still. Bobby's already a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
I think.
for sure.
I don't think that's controversial. Yeah. but I wonder what kind of records he could reach with just one more season out there.
Well, he's only combined tackles. I believe he is only about 60 or so away from the NFL record.
Oh, that was solo then, huh?
Okay, so with combined tackles, he could set a new record this year?
Yes.
Theoretically. So
I think he could if he just signs with any other team. I don't know if he's under contract with the Commanders.
Why wouldn't
He's
he?
not. He's free agent.
Yeah. Why wouldn't they have re-signed him yet? It's already almost April.
I wonder if it messes with their compensatory picks, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
But Bobby's going to be... he's at the age where it's like, does he even need training camp? Like, does he even need this whole offseason? Like, he'll probably show up.
You know who really pushes back against the Lil Bobby narrative? Big Bobby. Lil Bobby and Lil Bobby's dad pop up a lot in our stories of like theoretical, hypothetical people. You know, not just Lil Bobby out here. And I always feel bad for Lil Bobby, but he's a perfect analogy, like a perfect stand-in for so many stories. But let me tell you what, Big Bobby Wagner, he's the Lil Bobby that made it.
He's the Lil Bobby who made it.
For every 20 Lil Bobbies that take part in our stories, one Lil Bobby gets out there and becomes a Hall of Famer.
Love it.
You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Coming up next, what to know about a Devon Witherspoon extension.
Sure, it snowed like less than 2 weeks ago. But you could eat peanuts, Cracker Jacks, even fish and chips out of a souvenir ferry boat in any weather. Thursday, it's opening day for the Mariners.
Here at T-Mobile Park.
We're live from Soto all day with Bump and Stacy starting at 10. Then it's Wyman and Bob live from Hatback Bar and Grill starting at 2. Ahead of the Mariners and Guardians at 7:10. Listen wherever you are on the Seattle Sports app.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. Make this the year you take that unforgettable fishing trip to Queen Charlotte Lodge. Time is running out for summer bookings. Experience a luxury resort and amazing fishing with your buddies, family, father, or son. King salmon runs, halibut, and lingcod are always plentiful. Book your stay at fishqcl.com and use code ESPN. Experience fishing first class. Experience fishqcl.com.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades. And then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a staff accountant at the height of tax season.
Congrats. Looks like the company owes, $50 in taxes. How about that?
That seems low. Why only 50?
Why do you care so much? It's not your money.
This is the time for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Home of your Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Seattle Sports. If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
With one long-term deal out of the way with JSN, next up is Devon Witherspoon. Devon will be cheaper than JSN, but Bump, what if it's going to be a little trickier? So let's figure out what kind of money we're looking at here. The current leader in cornerback salaries is Trent McDuffie, who literally just signed his 2 weeks ago after being acquired by the Rams in that trade. He gets $31 million per year. It was a 4-year, $124 million deal. That deal surpassed Sauce Gardner, who previously held the record at about $30.1, excuse me, and his surpassed Derek Stingley, who had set it at $30 million. You get where this is going. So about $31 million is right now where it sits, and between 28 and 30 you're going to find like the top 5 guys. Spotrac does not have Devon Witherspoon getting over 31 and surpassing Trent McDuffie's deal. In their market value for his contract, they're looking at something closer to $28 million, and that's also what they're looking at for Christian Gonzalez. So I'll start with this. Is Devon Witherspoon the best corner on the market? It's tough.
Well, because Trent's gone, right?
Trent's gone. I guess I shouldn't say on the market, but like with JSN, it was like, who got more yards than him last year? No one. You were offensive player of the year.
Yeah.
This was such a strong and obvious case to make. It doesn't feel quite as obvious with Devon.
Nah, defense is different too, man.
Exactly.
You could look at his production, especially when it comes to interceptions, and be like, what are you talking about? Why would you pay him that much money? And I would say, all right, well, that's just a real basic stat. And on defense, you can affect offenses in games without even touching the football. If JSN went for 900 yards and they paid him $40-something million a year, then you trip.
Sure.
Your job is to literally catch the football and gain yards. Defense, you can be a deterrent. You can be a disruptor. You can mess up timing. That's exactly what he does. Devon Witherspoon could have easily won the MVP in the Super Bowl, in my opinion. The way he got after the quarterback, the way that Mike Madonna used him, and it's what he brings to the table. He can cover in the slot. He can cover outside. He can play in the box at $185. Get after the quarterback, blitz him, cause pressures, and all that good stuff. No, that's why you pay him. You have to really understand what he's asked to do in this defense and watch him affect the game without even touching the football. Should he be the highest paid? He's in the conversation for sure. If I'm his agent, we're talking about it. We're trying to get up to Trent McDuffie. If you don't get to Trent McDuffie, and it's $31 million a year, then you are really close to it.
I think that Christian Gonzalez could also throw a wrench in this. So Elliot Wolf, who's their director of player personnel, was asked about a Gonzalez extension at the Combine, I think. And he said, look, we obviously want to keep Christian Gonzalez here. It's something that we're working on. Let's say that gets done and that Christian Gonzalez doesn't surpass McDuffie, but gets 29 per year. If you're Devon Witherspoon, you're going, well, wait a minute. I've been a Pro Bowler every single year I've been in the league. This guy was just a first-time Pro Bowler. I know he had a phenomenal Super Bowl, but I did too. I have more interceptions over the last 3 years than Sauce Gardner. One fewer than Trent McDuffie. By the way, interceptions in general, probably not the best way to measure cornerback value because McDuffie only has 3, and I think most people would say he's one of the league's absolute best corners. I think that Gonzalez signing first kind of catapults Witherspoon to the top of that payroll.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna be able to make an argument. I mean, Gonzalez has been an all-pro second-team guy. Spoon, was he first team or second team? He was second team this year, huh?
He was second team.
Second team this year. I mean, so when it comes to Pro Bowls and all pros, there's some comparison that you can have there. And it's just what your team is asking you to do. I don't know the Patriots enough to know exactly what they're asking Christian Gonzalez to do. I do know that there's a guy over here in 21 who does everything that you can possibly do at his position for a defense. Cover, blitz, disrupt, energy. This is what he brings to the table. So if Christian comes in at 29, yeah, you're right there. You're hoping he comes in at 29. Come in at 29 because I'm going to ask for 32. I'm going to start at 32 and probably come down to 30. And I can understand why Trent Duffy would get a bit more than me just because he's primarily on the outside. He's locked up with number one receivers more often than not. Yeah, you're hoping Gonzalez comes in at 29.
Why do we think that others might mock him at much less per year? Like, again, Spotrac has him at 27.4. That's not top 3.
Well,
I don't think.
Spotrac, they usually come in low. They come in low just to be sure, right? I think there's always a baseline. That's probably like the least amount that he could get. Doesn't mean that he can't push up to 30 and 31. I don't know how they evaluate these contracts and what they're worth and what they're not worth, but typically they come in low, cover their own rear ends, and then teams kind of push it up.
Okay, so I have 2 little quirks to throw into this conversation. Tell me if either of these matter to you. I'm going to read them at the same time. The first is Devon Witherspoon's own history with negotiations. Does it matter at all that he was the last unsigned player of the 2023 draft class? When he was a rookie, there was a holdout that he was steadfast in what he wanted to get in terms of a signing bonus, and he missed the start of training camp. So we know that he is steadfast in his value and is unafraid to hold out. Secondly, he and Christian Gonzalez share, certainly an agency. It's a massive agency. It's CAA football, which represents a bajillion people. But Spotrac has them as having the same agent. Do either of those, Reggie Johnson, do either of those 2 things matter?
No, who has the same agent?
Christian Gonzalez and Devon Witherspoon.
Oh, okay.
Which to me, that could be interesting.
Yeah, it could be. It could be because both of these players have more of an impact on the game than what the numbers are going to tell you. Now I feel like, I don't even know if it gets this deep though, right? But if I'm Devon Witherspoon, I'm in my agent's ear. I'm better than your boy. You know I'm better than your boy. And you know Spoon he is not shy about expressing himself and letting you know how he feels about this situation. It could. I mean, they're only going to be separated by a couple $1 million a year. I mean, and to us, it doesn't seem like much because you're starting at like 28, 29. But to them, it's also like a pride thing too. Like Spoon is, I've been a Pro Bowl every single year. I've been an all-pro type of dude. I just won a dang Super Bowl. Me winning a Super Bowl with this team should make me more valuable than Christian Gonzalez anyway. Christian Gonzalez can come back. Well, I'm bigger. I'm stronger than this guy. You know, I can handle tight ends. Not the same Spoon can't. Yeah, it doesn't. I think it complicates it a little bit, but there has to be like a template that these agents go in with when it comes to a Spoon type of player and a Gonzalez type of player.
Mo from Puyallup texting in, pointing out that Spoon had a ton of leverage as a rookie. He said, well, hey, the 5th overall pick gets to hold out. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. He had an undeniable amount of leverage. He knew that he could get what he wanted for sure. He also has quite a bit of leverage now. Reek Woolen's gone. You were never going to, slightly different roles with this team anyways. But point being, like, you've lost a little bit of depth in your secondary. I'm one of your young players. If I'm Witherspoon, I'm looking at it this way. Like, I'm one of your young players. Like, the guys up front are always going to be here. That's an aging group. You know what I mean? Like, you have Josh Jobe, who's talented. He's great. He was great, swapping out that role with Reek Woolen. But, like, Witherspoon's central to your secondary, and Imanwari. That's leverage, too.
Yeah.
So
you got some things working in your favor, son.
I'm curious to see what ends up happening there. We are jumping to the NBA with Chris Mannix next.
The sounds of spring have already begun.
Mariners spring training, best week of our year.
But if you listen close enough, you can still hear echoes of last fall.
And the Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship.
These guys raise the bar.
This isn't a fun, cute story anymore. This is who we want to be.
You guys ready?
Thursday night, the Mariners host the Guardians on opening day at T-Mobile Park. Hear every pitch wherever you are on the Seattle Sports app.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
Now through March 31st, Lake Washington Windows and Doors is paying your sales tax, plus offering easy zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for 12 months. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com today and save the sales tax. Need some TLC for your hybrid or EV? A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue gives you fast, cost-effective, guaranteed service. Go to myevpros.com or call 425-96-EV-FIX. A&M Auto Repair treats you fair and square.
Bracket busted? Don't worry, Madness Maniacs, you still have a shot at winning. Head to seattlesports.com/win to fill out your 16-team bracket. It's not too late to join in on the fun. It's the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. And the winner of the 16-team competition will win a $500 Visa gift card. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win. Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Hi,
Hey, Flo here to say that Progressive knows that life can change quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, like when I have to take my ex off my policy.
Oh, sorry. But yes, we can do that.
And can you send them a message and tell them that they have trust issues that they need to work on?
We don't really get in the middle of these conflicts.
Also, can you let him know that I was faking interest in his band and it's probably time to grow up?
I'm not going to do it. Just know that with Progressive, you can easily make changes to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Also, I'm staying in touch with his mom because she's absolutely lovely.
Bad idea.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Jackson Hewitt has a great tax prep deal, $149 or less. Missing out is like ignoring a check engine light in your car. You regret it. Seriously, the price is only $149 or less, no matter how complicated, so don't wait. Like when you get a password expires today alert or you're shopping online and there's only one item left. It's like your taxes are in the cart, just complete the purchase. Hurry, this deal for $149 or less is like your phone at 1%. It's about to power down. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying two phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
The countdown is on.
Just 2 more days until opening day, Thursday, against the Guardians at T-Mobile Park. First pitch at 7:10.
On the home of the American League West champion Mariners. KIRO AM Seattle. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Former Buccaneers linebacker Levante David is retiring after 14 seasons, all spent with Tampa Bay. David talked about the decision at a press conference this afternoon, saying, quote, "I feel it's time to move on and find a different path in life, to be a dad to that amazing little girl over there." David is one of 7 players all time to reach 1,700 career tackles.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Sports Illustrated senior writer and NBA on NBC's Chris Mannix joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Chris, how's it going?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Fantastic. Obviously curious to know how this vote goes tomorrow. Shams made it sound as though this is very much just a formality. So tell us what you're expecting and when we could find out the result of the vote.
Yeah, we'll find out the result of the vote immediately on Wednesday. And I do think it is maybe not a formality, but I think it's going to pass with overwhelming support. Adam Silver and the top league officials have been working on the small number of holdouts that have had some questions about this over the last, probably 6 months to a year, getting everybody on the same page with the direction the league wants to go. And I think they're there. I mean, I don't think Adam Silver would hold a vote like this if he didn't feel like he had overwhelming support for expansion. So I think you're going to see something pass with well over 2/3 of the majority, and it may even be close to unanimous.
What's a pro and a con of league expansion?
I mean, the pro is that we get the NBA in 2 great markets. Seattle and Las Vegas are ready to go, and I think they'll immediately become 2 of the better markets in the NBA. The fan base in Seattle is well established. I think we'll pick up right where they left off, and Vegas, they haven't really missed when it comes to pro sports teams. The hockey team out there does well. The football team out there does well. I would imagine that when baseball gets out there in a smaller stadium, it's going to do pretty well. It's established itself as far more than a transitional city like in Atlanta or someplace like that. And I think they'll have good support there and they'll make a lot of money there. So you get the league into two top markets. The downside is pretty obvious. The league gets diluted even further. The talent pool gets diluted. And you have two teams that for the immediate future are going to be very bad. And what the NBA has been dealing with this season is almost a third of the league being very bad. Some of that can be addressed with changes to the lottery system and rule changes. But, the NBA, which has touted parity over the last couple of years, will now be faced with a situation that they're going to be stuck with, 5, 6, 7 teams that enter the year with really no hope of doing anything. So that's a big downside that certainly has been discussed.
Chris, I think people here in Seattle are just looking for a way to get their team back no matter what and still see it as a team that was stolen from them. It's a very painful history. Mm-hmm. So when I hear like Bill Simmons complaining about expansion, even though I have a lot of respect for Bill, there is part of me as a local that just goes, come on, man, just let Seattle get this team. Like, I'm sorry that it makes like it waters the league down for you, but like whatever it takes. However, I wanted to ask, speaking of, let me say this about that. Like the everybody wants teams in Seattle and Vegas. Mm-hmm. It's just nobody seems willing to do the hard part, which is to tell Memphis and New Orleans they no longer have teams. Like that's kind of where a lot of people in the league are at. You've got a market in Memphis which just hasn't succeeded outside of a couple of good playoff runs. New Orleans is a tough market as well. No one would argue that Seattle and Las Vegas are better markets. On top of that, you've got a situation where I think my facts are correct here that the arena deals with both those teams are coming up. 2028, 2029, something in that area. So it's kind of set up to make a move, but that requires some tough conversations. That requires dealing with existing owners and having potential the hardcore fan base in those markets revolt and be upset about it. But that most people think that's probably the best way to go. You don't have to realign the league and put a Western Conference team in the Eastern Conference. You don't have to mess with the talent pool. Just I don't know why that hasn't been given more consideration. That to me seems like the smartest thing to do.
How are these rosters built for people who don't know? Las Vegas and Seattle, if and when it goes down, how does the NBA fill these rosters?
Well, there'll be an expansion draft, and we haven't seen one in, decades now, where these teams will be able to pick off one player from the back end of a lot of rosters. It's not going to make that much of a difference. They never do. It's really about how this team is built through the draft over the next 5 or 6 years. And the NBA, I don't know what their rules are going to be on draft picks. If they're going to let these expansion teams be eligible right away for a top 3 pick, or if they have some protections built in there, so just not to award them top overall picks. There's a lot's going to happen with the lottery system over the next 6 months, that's for sure. But that's how it's going to be. You're not going to get a franchise player, an impact player off another team. Your best hope is to get a really quality role player and then build up from there. And look, when I talk to the smart GMs in the league, the best thing for a Seattle franchise and a Vegas franchise is to accept being bad for a few years. Keep building through the draft, hire smart people to run those organizations, and hopefully 2035 and beyond, you're competing for something.
Kind of a follow-up on your point. I wanted to kind of get your feel on the kind of temperature of the rest of the league and of voices around the league. So what I gathered then from you is like, look, the best course of action would be to move franchises, to relocate to underperforming teams as opposed to create 2 new ones. How is there a way for, obviously the leagues, it sounds like expanding rather than doing that, but is there a way for the NBA to curtail other things? Like, could they, before Seattle, in the time that it takes Seattle and Vegas to get these franchises actually up and running, can they focus on avoiding tanking or punishing tanking? Like, do you think that'll be a goal for them?
I mean, it's definitely a goal, and that's going to be a topic that comes out of the Board of Governors meeting on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. I don't know if punishing tanking is something the league is looking to do more of. I mean, it was a very uncomfortable situation for Adam Silver and top officials there to fine the Jazz and Pacers the way that they did. They don't want to be, the tanking police. They don't want to be giving out subjective punishments. They want rules in place that prevent all this. And I think some of the changes you're likely to see early on are going to be a situation where you maybe eliminate or remove a lot of the pick protections, which kind of grease a lot of these trades that lead to teams being in a situation that Indiana's in, that Washington's in with their protected picks. So I think you'll see some of that. Maybe you have a situation where teams can't draft in the top 4 for back-to-back years. I think you'll see some tweaking of the rules over the next few months that go into place in the 26-27 season. But that's pretty much all that they can do. And with as far as the way this is shaking out with expansion, I mean, the bottom line for owners, even though their GMs are probably telling them that, hey, we don't need more teams in this league, it's probably going to be like a $500 million windfall for each one of them. If these expansion fees are, $7 billion to $10 billion in total price, these guys are looking at dollar signs, and I don't think any one of them is going to outright reject it.
You mentioned that these expansion teams got to pray that around 2035 that they're good to go. That's 7 years from now or something like that, more than that. Can you think of an example where there's been an expansion team in the league that kind of exceeded expectations a bit quickly? I mean, we saw it in NHL, right? The Vegas Knights kind of fooled everybody and made people think that it was that easy to expand and just be great. Can you think of any examples?
No, because as I think back on, Minnesota when they expanded, I mean, Orlando when they got Shaq, that supercharged what they were able to do. I think Charlotte stunk for a long time. It's just different. In the NHL, you get a great goalie, you get one great player, you can take off a lot faster. It's just different. In the NBA, there's a blueprint for building success. You need at least one franchise player and a whole bunch of interchangeable wings, guys like Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White in Boston, Oklahoma City with all the interchangeable parts that they have. They've got 2 all-stars there. It just takes a long time to identify those guys. I mean, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was the 11th overall pick in the draft his year. It was, 7 years later when he became the MVP of the league. So it's just going to be a pretty drawn-out process before you can, even if you hit on all the picks that you have, which certainly would help you accelerate all this, it's just unlikely that you're going to be able to compete for anything, even a playoff spot for several years. And then championship stuff is probably close to a decade away, if we're being honest.
We had the news that the Kraken are purchasing a majority stake in Climate Pledge. Is the assumption among NBA insiders like yourself that ownership group is going to be making the run to purchase the Sonics?
I think they'll make a run. It's unclear to me who – I think they're more likely to land the Seattle franchise. There's more – I don't want to say certainty because anything can happen, but there's a more clear pathway to ownership there. The Vegas one is where it's a lot more confusing. There's going to be half a dozen people with deep pockets in the casino business that are going to try to buy the NBA team and then build out a casino resort around it. That's what kind of the Dallas Mavericks ownership group wants to do in Texas if they ever get around to changing the laws down there. It's a little different in Seattle. You're not having that same type of that same type of ownership group. So I think that one is maybe as a cleaner path to acquiring that team. But it is going to come down to the money. These owners, they want top dollar. If someone comes over the top with more money, there's not going to be any nostalgia here. They're going to look for the maximum amount of money.
Where's the NBA as far as popularity? It's been a different couple years, a transition when it comes to, I guess, stars in the league. You got young guys rising to the top. Now you mentioned SGA, you got Wemby, Cunningham, all those guys. Just how are numbers looking when it comes to the profitability of the NBA?
I think it's still wildly popular. Whether you like the game or not is in the eyes of the beholder. I think they've successfully attracted a lot of young fans with this style of play who grow up wanting to be like Steph Curry, wanting to be like this next generation of stars. I do think they've alienated a lot of the older fans who aren't thrilled watching, three-point shooting contests every single night. The NBA is very cognizant of this. And look, their ratings have been good. They've been up this year with the change in the broadcast deal with NBC coming on board, giving them a second network, Amazon giving them a big fire hose. So they're happy with how the ratings are trending. But there definitely is a style of play issue that is plaguing the NBA now and will probably plague it for the foreseeable future. People just think that they shoot too many threes. There's a desire, especially among older fans. Look, I count myself among them. I'm 45 years old, but I still, remember the days of Michael and, Kobe and Shaq and playing through the post and the triangle offense. Like, I kind of like that. I like that style of play. I thought that brought a different level of skill than just every 7-footer, in the game coming out and shooting three-pointers. So they've got this issue, and I know they're thinking about ways to deal with it, thinking about ways to maybe curb the number of threes that get attempted per game. But overall, it's in a healthy place. It's not in the same place we thought 20 years ago when we all wondered if the NBA was going to overtake the NFL. That's never going to happen. But it still is in a strong place when compared to the other major sports leagues.
Is there a thought that anything could make that trend come back around, right? Like, look, I'm going to be fully honest. I used to cover the NFL. I've never covered the NBA. So this is from an ignorant place. But we've talked a lot about, like, change from in Sean McVay's system, 11 personnel usage to 13 personnel, and then how the league responds, and you see trends come and go. Is there anything in the NBA where you think it's curving towards something that it might appeal to older viewers, or is it kind of off to the races, it's done?
Yeah, it feels like the horse is out of the barn in a lot of ways. I mean, there have been some insane ideas floated out there, pushing the three-point line back once again. Some other things that just make no sense. So there really hasn't been a proposal that has made the NBA think they need to rejigger their rules. And look, the analytics have taken over the game. It's kind of as simple as that. Teams are looking at saying, look, if I shoot 53s a game and I make 40% of them, that's better than shooting, the same amount of twos and making 45% of them. Like, it's just there. That's the math problem that's out there. And look, you can't argue with its success. I mean, Boston won a championship a couple of years ago as the most prolific three-point shooting team in NBA history. Golden State, set the standard 10 years ago with Stephen Clay and those guys. It's a successful model. That's why now, Victor Wembanyama is unique, no question about it. But every 7-footer coming into the NBA is going to be shooting threes because they're going to be growing up, doing it in high school, doing it in college, practicing it. I just don't see anything that's going to bring this game more inside the three-point line, and that's going to cause the NBA to turn off a pretty large number of fans.
Hey, what is it about the development of the American player that's missing? I mean, I have an idea. AAU is crazy, but these, these European players from across the pond are coming here and been dominating. Giannis has been an MVP. You got Wemby doing his thing. Obviously, the Joker, Luka. What's the difference between the two games, and why is the U.S. Why does it feel like we're falling behind?
Well, I mean, to me, and I don't study the high school game as closely as I'd like. But to me, it kind of goes into what I was talking about with the way the game is played, where the emphasis is now so heavy on the three-point shot. Everybody is coming up the ranks, trying to be the next Steph Curry, the next Trae Young, the next gunner that dominates the league in that way. Whereas in Europe, they're shooting a lot of threes. Wemby's proof of that. Jokic is a three-point shooter. Luka's one of the best ever. But they have a more complete skill set. They're more well-rounded. I can't really understand or say why specifically, but I do think that the fact that the NBA has changed in the way that it has is a trickle-down effect to the college game, the high school game, AAU circuit, middle school, everything. Everybody wants to be a long-range shooter, and fewer players, bigs and wings and smalls, are kind of coming up saying, I want to be a good low-post player, or I want to develop this skill set that, Jordan had back in the day or Magic had back in the day. So it's more about how many threes can I get up and how efficient can I be on that particular shot. And I get it. I mean, I get it. These guys are not only making the league, they're getting paid. There's nothing more valuable in the NBA right now than a 3-and-D player, a guy that can shoot the three and then defend multiple positions on the other end. That kind of player 25 years ago would have been ostracized. We called them tweeners back then. Nobody liked having guys like that on the team. Now everybody wants guys like that. You can't win without guys like that. So, I think that just plays a big part in it, that people are seeing what it takes to succeed in the NBA, and they're developing their games accordingly.
Chris Mannix is also the co-host of Sports Illustrated's Open Floor podcast with Rachel Nichols and Evan Turner, and he was very gracious with his time today. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Anytime, guys.
Have a good one. Before we keep it moving to 4-down territory, what did you and Curtis make of Chris's point about three-point shooting? I know that we're kind of going to be having two separate conversations about the NBA. One is going to be specifically about the Sonics and, how soon they can compete and all the info, the FAQ type stuff that people need. And the other half is going to be people that genuinely want to have NBA conversations that we're going to be having to have at different paces than the Sonics because they'll be in an infancy stage. But what did you guys make of what Chris had to say about what the league is now? That horse is gone off to the races. It's not turning around.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's all about the three-pointer, and analytics tell you that you should take more three-pointers. The mid-range is almost non-existent now, to whereas, we grew up Kobe and Jordan, like mid-range, you get to that elbow and you let it go. So I can understand where guys like my age are looking at the game and saying it just looks different, right? Yeah. But I would imagine guys who watch the NFL, who grew up watching it in the 80s and 90s, look at the game now and say, it's just different. It is what it is. You can yell at the clouds all you want to, but that's just what the product is now.
I think one interesting stat I saw about how much the game has changed from when the Sonics were around to what it is now is that in the Sonics' final years, the Phoenix Suns were known for having this high-paced offense. Their nickname was the 7 seconds or less Suns because that's how quickly they'd get the ball up the court and get a shot off. But if you put those Suns in today's NBA, the 7 seconds or less Suns, they would have a bottom 5 pace in the NBA. Mm-hmm. It's just get the ball, get it up the court, get a shot off. If it goes in, fine. If not, either get the board or go back on defense. It is so lightning quick compared to what it is, or compared to what it was 20 years ago.
Has that taken away from your enjoyment of it?
I mean, I love a good half-court game. I love watching an offense set screens, the baseline picks, and watching the play actually develop. Now it's more one-on-one set of screen, jack one up. And these guys they're better. They're more skilled than basketball has ever been, so I can appreciate that. But for me, the strategy part, watching Phil Jackson run that triangle offense was great. Watching the Spurs half-court offense was fun to me. Watching Tim Duncan work from the post and hit you with a bang shot was cool, but the bodies are different now. A Tim Duncan player wouldn't survive in this league. I guess the Joker's kind of a Tim Duncan, but they're looking for 6'9", 7-footers who can dribble, take a shot off the dribble. It's the player has changed, so the game naturally has to change.
All right, let's get to a quick 4-down territory here.
This is 4-down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
See if we have time to get to 3. Might just do the first 2. First down from a texter. If JSN's so good, Bump, then why don't defenses double team him?
Yeah, because you don't this isn't basketball where you walk the ball up the court, you cross half court, and now you got 2 guys right there trying to guard you. It's just different in football. Imagine taking a nickel and a safety and having them both align over JSN. You're going to have so much space out there in that second and third level. It's just not efficient. So what you do it from depth. You bracket a player. You have a wing defender, so the guy on the second level, furthest outside, he reroutes. Then he passes him up to the safety who stays over the top. And depending on what you want that guy to do underneath, he kind of trails him or whatnot. That's a double team. I've only seen one player get 2 DBs, and they stand right in front of him, and that's Calvin Johnson, who's 6'6" and 200 whatever pounds. They do it. They just do it in a different way. So I think if you just know what to look for, then you'll see him getting double team type of attention. But it's rare you're going to have 2 guys just lock in on Jason.
Well, and I don't think anyone's questioning whether or not opposing defenses see him as a massive threat. So it may not look like the double team you're looking for, but they are absolutely having, as Wyman would say, extra meetings when it comes to JSN and how to handle him. Second down. Also from a texter, Bump, here's another question. Why did we sign JSN so early? Shouldn't we give him a prove it year?
Well, he's got 2 years where I feel like he proved it. One with DK, we went for over 1,000 yards. One without DK, we went for 1,700 yards. And you sign him now because if you wait another year, he'll have back-to-back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, probably another Pro Bowl or maybe an All-Pro year. And now instead of $42 million a year, you're going around 50. And it just makes it harder for you to make deals. And then you make the contract as the back end heavy, right? In 29 and 30 is when you'll really start seeing some cap hits around the mid-30s and 40s, but you restructure that thing. So you get your guys paid early because that number's just going to go up. There's going to be a receiver, maybe even this offseason, that gets paid more than JSN. Next year, for sure, there's going to be a receiver that gets paid more. So you just get it off the way now because you're delaying the inevitable, which is going to have to pay him a lot of money.
We do have time for one more. What position have the Seahawks gotten a great return from?
Tight end. A.J. Barner is their number 3 receiver, went for over 500 yards and 6 touchdowns, and they're only paying about 3.2% of their cap towards the tight end position. A.J.'s only going to get better. Hopefully, Fleury figures out a way to use him in a way that continues his growth. But we're looking at the percentage of what position has what dollar. The wide receiver getting the most, obviously because of Rashid Shaheed and JSN. But you look at the bottom, A.J. Barner in the tight end group, about 3.2% of the cap. You got a lot of production out of those guys. So you're paying a lot here, but you're paying a little here, and you're trying to balance some things out.
Skipping 4th down. We converted. That's how effective we were. We just converted. What I need to know coming your way at 45 after. Get those questions in now. 866-979-3776. Hype Train coming your way next.
The sounds of spring have already begun.
Mariners spring training, best week of our year.
But if you listen close enough, you can still hear echoes of last fall.
And the Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship.
These guys raise the bar.
This isn't a fun, cute story anymore. This is who we want to be.
You guys ready?
Thursday night, the Mariners host the Guardians on opening day at T-Mobile Park. Hear every pitch wherever you are on the Seattle Sports app.
Do you have a car sitting around collecting dust? Well, turn that car into cash at Wayscar Ford and Auburn with their vehicle profit sharing program. Here's what makes it different than anywhere else. Not only will they purchase your car today and pay you right up front, but it gets better because once they resell your old car, they share 50% of their profit with you. I caught up with my friend Mark Clymer from Wayscar Ford and Auburn. He said customers are loving it. They're getting top dollar for their vehicle up front. They're getting paid right now. And the best part is that when Mark and his team resell that vehicle, their customer is getting 50% of the profit. And that 50% has now amounted to over $1 million shared with customers. It's going so well because less and less people are comfortable trying to sell a car themselves. Wayscar Ford offers a way to get a lot more money for your car without needing to go through all the hassle and potential scams trying to sell it yourself. And it's only at Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn, wayscarford.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Hi, Chuck here at Frank Lumber the Door Store. Something that happens here most every day are customers and contractors looking to purchase doors they can take today. Frank Lumber has a good selection of pre-hung display doors that are ready to go. And if we don't have what you need today, whether it be style or size, and you find a door in stock, we can still get you taken care of quickly. Come visit our showroom and bargain barn in Shoreline. Also, be sure to check us out online at franklumber.com.
Bracket busted? Don't worry, Madness Maniacs, you still have a shot at winning. Head to seattlesports.com/win to fill out your 16-team bracket. It's not too late to join in on the fun. It's the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. And the winner of the 16-team competition will win a $500 Visa gift card. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win. Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
Jackson Hewitt has a great tax prep deal, $149 or less. Missing out is like ignoring the check engine light in your car. You'll regret it. Seriously, the price is only $149 or less, no matter how complicated. So don't wait. Like when you get a password expires today alert or you're shopping online and there's only one item left. It's like your taxes are in the cart. Just complete the purchase. Hurry. This deal for $149 or less is like your phone at 1%. It's about to power down. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Don't miss the John Schneider Show, presented by Silver City Brewery.
I truly believe defense wins championships.
Thursdays at 4, only on Seattle Sports.
It's funny how you get used to things in not so ideal condition around the house.
It's Dave Wyman here, and for me, it was old windows. After 20 years in our home, virtually every window had a broken seal. We got used to cold drafts, outside noises, and condensation. And if you're in the same boat, use this spring to say goodbye to the old, dreary windows and hello to your new exclusive windows from Harley Exteriors. Right now, they're having a spring cleaning sale to complete your home makeover. If you buy 10 windows, you can choose between 20% off your entire project or get a free door. On top of that, make 0 payments and accumulate 0 interest for up to 12 months for qualified buyers. Harley Exteriors windows are a massive upgrade, manufactured right here in the Pacific Northwest and exclusive to Harley Exteriors. Call 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com. Schedule your free consultation today at harleyexteriors.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
What I need to know is coming your way in 15 minutes, and we could use a few more questions. So whatever question you have, anything top of mind, text it now. 866-979-3776. Right now, let's head to the station for Hype Train. We've had so many NBA conversations ever since the news from Shams broke last week. God, it feels like it's been longer. That the NBA is expected to explore expansion starting after tomorrow. That vote tomorrow. And one of the popular takes that we've been hearing, we just literally heard it from Chris Mannix, is that rather than adding 2 teams and diluting the talent pool in the NBA should have instead relocated 2 failing franchises to Seattle and Vegas. That's your Hype Train. The NBA should have relocated instead of expanding.
I'm not a fan of relocating because of what happened to this team here,
Fair.
right? That fan base. And what teams are you talking about? Is it the Pelicans? Is it Memphis?
Memphis and New Orleans.
No, I think they did the right thing because you took a team from Seattle, you give a team back, and you don't have to kill any other fan base. I bet. I mean, we know Memphis. I don't think they've ever won a championship. Maybe they have as a different team.
No.
Who's the other team we're talking about?
New Orleans.
Pelicans. They've never won one. Let that fan base live, or let them live in their misery. Whatever it is, let them live.
Fair.
Because I don't like snatching a team.
Yeah.
I'm good.
You said, I know what that pain feels like. I'm not boarding this one. The NBA should have relocated 2 teams instead of expanding. Curtis.
Business-wise, it makes sense for the NBA to do that. Ethically, I don't think that's cool to relocate any team. I think it's horrible what baseball did with the A's. I think it's horrible what, obviously, the NBA did with the Sonics. What we've seen at the NFL where the Raiders moved out of Oakland, the Chargers moved out of San Diego. Like, it is heartbreaking whenever it happens. And I think leagues should be doing all that they can to avoid relocation until you've exhausted every effort in that town. And I don't think they should have relocated. So I'm not boarding this train. I think expansion is the safe route, the best route, the happiest route for everybody.
Yeah.
So expand to 32, pump some more money into this league, and have a couple of top 10 markets generating more bucks for you.
Agree with you guys. It's easy if your team has never been relocated or you've never, faced anything like that. Like if you're from, let's say Boston, and well, maybe that's not the best example. If you're just from an area where you've never really had to think about this and you're looking at it only in terms of what would keep the product from being diluted. And not only that, but let's say that you were like, hey, Seattle, you can compete sooner. You know, if you get a team that has Zion Williamson already and then you continue to build around him, that's faster than trying to, build your team through an expansion draft and be bad for years. But I agree with you guys. It's gross. It's morally corrupt. It's a horrible thing that people do. And half the time, owners force it. It's not as simple as people stop showing up and caring. That is so rarely what really happens. And most of the time, it is owners wanting more money, a bigger stadium, bigger taxpayer dollars, whatever it is, and then kind of forcing people's hands. So no. Next up. Another take we heard this week, the Seahawks got worse this offseason. Bump.
Yeah, they did. But it's okay.
You're boarding?
Yeah, they got worse this offseason. You lose a starter in Boye, a starter in Kobe, a contributor in Reek, a starter in K9, Super Bowl champion. You don't lose those four and you get better, at least not now. By the time the season starts or a few weeks into the season, after you get a return out of some of your investments that people just aren't familiar with, then maybe. But there's no way you can look at who they lost and say, yeah, didn't get worse at all. Yeah, you did. But you're hoping that the moves that you made and the moves to come will kind of cover up some of that and you develop.
The Seahawks got worse this offseason. Bump is boarding. Curtis.
I don't think they did. I think they've kind of stayed the same. So I'm not boarding this train. Yes, they're good players that have left the organization, but I still think they have the same ceiling, and that's Super Bowl contender. I don't think the floor is that much lower than what it was a year ago. So I think this Seahawks team could very easily win 11, 12, 13 games next year. Yeah, 14 is a tough bar to clear, but there's not much more room for improvement when you have won 14 games in a season. So I am going to say they did not get worse this offseason. It stinks that they had to let some key guys go, but I think what is still here is still really good, and I think it's still a team very capable of winning the NFC West and very capable of, heck, even winning the entire conference.
I think the Seahawks have more question marks right now than they did 2 months ago. And if that means that you're worse, then yeah, then I'm boarding this one. But I am boarding this one, eyeballing people who think that the Rams very clearly improved and the Seahawks very obviously got worse, going, well, wait a minute. I know that the Rams added some key pieces, but you can't just assume they're the same too. You know what I mean? You can't assume Puka's going to have 1,700 yards and a 38-year-old Matthew Stafford's going to play like the MVP. Why would you assume that, but then not assume Seattle's offense can still be pretty prolific? You're shaking your head. Why?
You scared.
I think that they have, I'm worried about the running back room.
The Rams did get better.
They did, but I think that I don't like the framing of it.
Emmanuel Wilson, Trent McDuffie.
Those are two very different caliber
Rodney
signings.
Thomas, Jalen Watson.
Okay,
You mean Godney Thomas?
Thank you, Curtis.
That's right.
That part.
I feel you. It's hard to go against it, but
he's a Yale-educated man, Bob.
Hey, that's what's going to put them over the top right there. They could be good. I mean, they could be. It's just on paper, I got to say that they got better.
You're not wrong. I'm stubbornly being stubborn.
I feel you.
You know?
Stubbornly being stubborn.
Yeah.
I like that.
Next up.
Bar.
Devon Witherspoon resets the market, too. This hype train boarding it implies that he gets the new highest, whatever deal.
If he does, there's going to be some upset Texans. They're going to be upset. For some reason, some of this fan base does not enjoy paying players what they are worth and feel like you can get another JSN or maybe two guys to make one JSN off the street.
Like cat dog.
Yes. And that typically doesn't happen like that. Can it happen? Sure. Will it happen? I don't know. Do you think that the running back room as it lies right now, you're going to find two dudes to put up the production that K9 and Zach Charbonnet did?
I don't right now, no.
Right? It's just hard to do. So, yes, I think is he going to reset the market? Is that the question?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's going to do it. Okay. And because he has a great agent.
Devon Witherspoon resets the market, too. Bump is boarding. Curtis, it's a big number to clear. $31 million average annual value from Trent McDuffie there.
He does it. We're boarding this train. Devon Witherspoon, enjoy your next payday because it's going to be a large one. Yeah, I think you're going to have the highest paid receiver in the league on your team, highest paid corner in the league on your team. And you know what? I'm okay with giving both of those guys those kinds of deals because your return on investment is going to be greater than maybe somebody who's not quite to that level and you're kind of hoping that they reach that level of pay where it's like, would you consider JSN to be the best receiver in the NFL? Possibly. He's one of about 3 or 4 guys that you would consider to be the best in the NFL. Is Devon Witherspoon the best corner in the game? He's up there. Well, again, same like top 3 or 4 guys in the NFL. So you pay elite guys elite money. You should get more bang for your buck that way.
My gut says yes, because that's just kind of the game that the league plays, right? It was Derek Stingley Jr., then it was Sauce Gardner, then it was Trent McDuffie. Well, of course it's going to be Devon Witherspoon. He's been a Pro Bowler every single year of his career. He was a second-team All-Pro last year, but I don't know. I'm interested in the gap Spot Track has in this and what McDuffie's getting. What if it comes in at 30? What if it's not top, but he gets more guaranteed money?
Yeah, I like that.
I'll go with more guaranteed money and maybe lower average annual value. Next and last, onions are the most underrated hot dog topping.
Onions?
Onions, like grilled or like, what's it called when you brown them in butter?
That's grilled onions.
Oh, there's another word I'm looking for.
Seared?
Onions. No.
Anyway.
Someone can help me out.
Onions, underrated, the most
Caramelized?
Underrated.
Is that what you're looking
There you
for?
go, caramelized.
It's kind of the same thing.
Nah, man. I love me some relish, and people don't be liking relish on hot dogs, man.
That's your top hot dog?
That's your
He said underrated. He said underrated.
Oh, underrated?
That's it, though?
You said underrated, right?
Yeah, most underrated. That would be underrated. I mean, it's like at games, but like, for instance, you couldn't say mustard. But relish, I don't know a lot of people that are like, oh, you gotta get relish.
I love relish on a hot dog. Love it.
I hate relish. You were given the choice of caramelized onions or
like
relish.
Onions. I mean, onions are cool, but I don't like onions like that.
Curtis.
I love hot dogs with an onion on it. Yeah, we're boarding this train.
Yeah, I'm boarding this one as well. I don't even need to. I'm already leaping on board.
All I need on a
Most
dog
underrated
really,
hot dog
is
topping.
Mustard and some onion.
To be frank, I only get mustard when I usually get them, but onions, I just was enraptured by the smell of cooking onions.
I can do
downstairs.
onions, but I don't need onions.
3 Successes mayonnaise on a hot dog is low-key amazing. I don't know about that.
I mean, I guess don't knock it till you try it. Jalapeno is a popular answer. A lot of people like just chili, turn it into a chili dog.
That's the greatest dog of all time.
Would you have that over relish?
Chili dog is incredible.
Okay, so would chili dog be like top of the mountain?
Yes.
What's your dog Mount Rushmore?
Chili dogs.
All 4.
All beef dogs.
Okay.
That's it.
I almost said get your questions in for Hype Train. Get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776.
Darnold has time. Gonna let it fly.
Signed.
JSN is out there.
Sealed.
JSN has it. Touchdown! Seahawks!
Delivered. Jackson Smith and Jigba signs a massive extension, 4 years, $168 million.
The NFL's highest paid wide receiver ever.
How about that?
Complete coverage at seattlesports.com.
Sam Darnold wouldn't have the season that he had if he didn't have JSN over there.
And the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Hey, Brock Ewert here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. Spring, well, it's the perfect time to start planning your dream deck. And right now, PCF is making it easier than ever to get you started with 50% off your custom professional design and architectural drawing package. What does it mean? Well, it means you can save over $9,000 on your project. And with 12 months of no interest, no payment financing, you can design your deck now and pay later. Most people who start with a design package end up with the outdoor space they've always dreamed of. And this offer is your first step. Don't wait until summer and wish you had started the process sooner. Start it now. Do what Molly and I did some years ago. Contact PCF Construction Group today. Get project ideas, browse photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. Go see my friends at PCFgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space with People Come First.
Trust is everything. Earning it takes years. Losing it takes 5 seconds.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
P&D Tree Service, local experts in tree removal. If you were hit hard by the storm, P&D Tree will remove trees and clean up while minimizing impact on your landscaping. 24-hour emergency service. Any job, big or small. PNDTreeservice.com.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. Make this the year you take that unforgettable fishing trip to Queen Charlotte Lodge. Time is running out for summer bookings. Experience a luxury resort and amazing fishing with your buddies, family, father, or son. King salmon runs, halibut, and lingcod are always plentiful. Book your stay at fishqcl.com and use code ESPN. Experience fishing first class. Experience fishqcl.com.
High five. Up top.
Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Heck yeah!
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Yes!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping. Woo!
For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
Home is more than a place to live. It's where the best of life unfolds, where possibility sparks, where community grows, where lives take shape. At the Master Builders Association of King and Snohomish Counties, that belief drives the work our builders, remodelers, and tradespeople do every day. Because when we build more homes, we're building so much more than housing. We're making room for what matters most. Learn more at roomforwhatmatters.com.
Compassion, communication, results. That's Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com. That's pendergastlaw.com.
Here's a tale of Linda trying to lose weight, but the med prices she found were all over the place.
Hidden fees and markups made her jaw drop low. Then she found Good RX. Now she's in the know.
GLP-1 subscriptions FDA approved.
With clear upfront pricing.
And same-day pickup.
That's Good RX, the no-nonsense way. Save time and money on prescriptions.
Get to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
Save $10 on a pair of Rain-X Latitude wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Our professional parts people will even install them for free.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Any question, get your question in now. 866-979-3776. This is what I need to know. This person says, what I need to know is what's your worst job after college?
Worst job after college? Probably Working for Pepsi as a
I
salesman.
knew you would say that.
Yeah. Listen, if you work in a grocery store, respect, but those are the most miserable people I've ever met. People who worked in grocery, like managers.
Like the employees?
No, it's like the managers,
Yeah.
really. Like, they hate their lives. And I got to sell soda to you, and you know you need this soda. It's July. It's summertime. You need this soda. Why are you making this so difficult?
Why do you have to be the one to sell it to them? Soda's soda.
Yeah.
They need that.
What?
Well,
Like, I'm
it
just
depends
showing
on
up
how
with
much
it.
on how much they sell
Keep in
during that
stock.
month, and yeah, it's
Okay.
the whole thing.
You ever hear the cap pop on a refreshing Pepsi?
Trying your pitch.
Have I got a soda for you?
Mine was working for a gutter company where, you know, when you go to like a 4-H fair or the Puyallup fair, or you go somewhere and it's like 90% of what you're paying attention to is someone visiting the fair is like maybe a musical act or a rodeo or whatever. And then there's a portion of the fair that's like, why are they selling windows? That's
Yeah.
where I worked. And
Did the gutters you sell have that like running water that goes down them like all the other gutter displays have?
No,
Well, that's
no,
why
it
you
didn't.
didn't sell any gutters.
Exactly right. I remember just like hating it. I was just doing it as a random, like it was a summer job in between 2 college years. And you'd get weird people coming up being like, oh, like I don't believe you know about gutters. And I'd be, you're right. I'm clearly 18 years old.
Darn it, you caught my, or
Yeah.
you sniffed out my blood.
Yeah, it was a weird kind of like, you know, they'd try to like test you and you're like, bro, I don't care if I get all these answers wrong. I'm just here to truly like make sure no one steals
I don't
this
care
gutter.
if I get all these answers wrong.
Yeah, that's fine.
Funny.
God. 866-979-3776. I like the next question, but first I'm going to say this one, which is the person who sent in the update about why you stopped talking or why your best friend stopped talking to you after you broke up with the sister-in-law or something. Listeners need an update for why that happened. So if you're listening right now and you were that person, please text that in. There was some drama that we wanted to know about. Okay, you can relive any day of your life, says the next listener, but you can't change it. Which day?
Man. Probably when management called me into their office and told me that I had made the team for the Seahawks. Yeah, that was dope.
Did they try to do a fake out and like make it seem as though you hadn't?
No, they didn't waste any time. Got right to the point and gassed me up. So yeah, that was probably one of the best moments of my life.
I had a lot of fun with friends watching the 2013 championship game at a bar. It was crazy. It was all chaos. We were there the whole day. We watched the AFC championship first and then obviously watched the Seahawks and 49ers. And it was just like a peak life in your 20s kind of day. So that would probably be mine.
I'm going to say, so I got 2 answers. First one, wedding day. Second one, I'm going to say maybe the day I was hired here because I then met my wife here.
Aww.
So that's
This dude's getting all the points today.
You know,
boy.
there we go.
Hope you're listening, Brenna. Hope you're at home listening to talk radio right now.
Did you meet Brenna the first day you got hired?
No, we didn't meet. So I had actually worked here for about 4 years, then left briefly, went to go work down in Portland. And then when my second tenure started, that is when we met. We met doing, it's now Hawks Live. Back then it was called Seahawks Weekly.
Yeah.
But yeah, we met doing that show because we would sit next to each other for like 3 hours.
So really the Seahawks are responsible.
Yeah,
when you think about it.
exactly. Nasa Chobe, executive producer of the Seahawks Radio Network, played a big role in us getting together.
Would you say he executive produced
I
your
think
guys'
so.
marriage?
I think so.
What I need to know, how much social media, speaking of relationships, how much social media is too much in a relationship?
What do you mean?
I think that they mean posting, but they could mean time spent. But I think they mean like
Posting
how
each other.
active does someone have to be on social media before it's kind of
Man,
like a turnoff for
Stop
you?
with all that. I mean, listen. I saw a study that said couples that post their significant other a bunch, like a lot, they really ain't that happy. The ones who kind of every now and then post their significant other, yeah. So I don't know.
If you're posting something like every day, for me, that would be a lot. That would be a lot. I mean, I don't even post really, so
Nah.
ideally you
don't
go
post. I
like
just post for work, honestly.
I go like once every month, 2 months.
Yeah, I'm not posting anything really personal on social media these days other than like tweeting about work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone said the shared couple accounts are garbage too. I think some of those people are happy. It's just really, it's
one of them is happy.
It's yeah.
There's
Other
another one
is not being trusted.
Yeah, there's another one that's kind of like.
It's a little corny for me sometimes.
Yeah.
But look, I'm not like married with kids. Maybe there are people married with kids out there who like consuming that type of content.
Listen, sometimes I just want to say some foul stuff to the homies without my girl seeing it. You know, like, why she got to be in on this?
You be dropping swears in your group chat?
You know?
Wow, dude. You learn more about each other every day.
What I need to know. Let's see. I had a couple here. Dang it. Okay, I had someone that said, oh, here we go. They said, what if tomorrow they come out of the meeting and only allow one expansion team?
I'll be messed up.
It's got to be Seattle.
And they go with an odd number too. They're like, we're just.
Let's go 31. It's fine.
It makes sense.
Just an unbalanced schedule the whole season long.
It checks out. No, they're not going to do that. And in fact, what time did he say? So the meeting is around noon, and he said.
He said almost immediately after.
Well, no, immediately after. So Adam Silver is scheduled to speak. I think
it's around like 2:30 or 3 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah. So for certain updates during Wyman and Bob. But potentially during
our
show.
Pressure on him. Don't mess it up, guys.
Ready for that breaking news promo. Breaking news. That's how I'm going to do it. Oh, it's going to be amazing. What if Curtis beats me to it?
Breaking news.
Oh, I'm going to be so mad. I'm going to ruin it. Wyman and Bob coming up next. You're not wrong. I'm stubbornly being stubborn.
The sounds of spring have already begun.
Mariners spring training, best week of our year.
But if you listen close enough, you can still hear echoes of last fall.
And the Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship.
These guys raise the bar.
This isn't a fun, cute story anymore. This is who we want to be.
You guys ready?
Thursday night, the Mariners host the Guardians on opening day at T-Mobile Park. Hear every pitch wherever you are on the Seattle Sports app.
Now through March 31st, Lake Washington Windows and Doors is paying your sales tax, plus offering easy zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for 12 months. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com today and save the sales tax.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
Imagine all that can happen in 5 years. Jobs may change, kids will grow, new memes are going to come out, but what if you had reliable, intelligent Wi-Fi and the price never changed for 5 years? Well, thanks to the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you don't have to worry about that part of your future. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need them the most. That finds and fixes any issues before you even notice them. It's like a super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from online threats. You get incredible gaming speeds on multiple devices and no one battling for bandwidth. For the next 5 years, all your devices will be working in perfect harmony, and you get our best equipment with no annual contracts, no fees, and no strings attached. So even though kids will grow up and you still won't understand 6-7, your internet's going to stay sharp, reliable, and most importantly, the price will stay put. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi, all with the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions do apply. Select plans only.
Your new home for Tesla, EV, and hybrid maintenance is A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue with dealer-level diagnostics, electrical, mechanical, and suspension repairs. Find A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue online at myevpros.com or 425-96-EV-FIX.
Bracket busted? Don't worry, Madness Maniacs, you still have a shot at winning. Head to seattlesports.com/win to fill out your 16-team bracket. It's not too late to join in on the fun. It's the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. And the winner of the 16-team competition will win a $500 Visa gift card. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win. Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Hey, it's John Curley with my friend
I'm Bob Stelton. Hey, Bob, you had a hip issue just like me. You went to see Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine. What did he tell you?
You got a torn labrum, you got a frayed ligament, you've got arthritis developing. He said, this isn't going to fix everything, but it will go a long way. I was walking around at about an 8 pain level. I couldn't walk that far before the pain would kick in, and it was impacting my workouts and just really impacting my day-to-day stuff beyond jiu-jitsu.
So, just like me, Dr. Wagner does stem cell on your hip. How you feeling now?
I feel like I've gotten back to being who I was prior to the injuries, which was somebody who's very active, loves being out there outside when the weather's great, being on the motorcycle, sparring in jiu-jitsu, working out. I can do all of those things now.
So whether it's a shoulder, a hip, a wrist, knee, or elbow, before you choose surgery, see our friend, Dr. Wagner first. He'll tell you if stem cell is right for you. drmarkwagnermd.com. Make an appointment at drmarkwagnermd.com.
The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day for baseball.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. Case in point, your ticket might be for the view level, but it's more like Skyline City. Up here, it's hard to say what'll take your breath away first. The gorgeous Seattle sunsets or the spectacular views of every incredible play. If you like value with the view, it's the perfect place to take quality time with the family to a whole new level. Literally.
A bases clearing, 3-run double. Everybody on their feet here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
Mark your calendars, Mariners fans. This season is jam-packed with epic events. Be here for Thursday's opening day festivities. Ichiro Replica Statue Night, April 10th, presented by BDA. And Randy Johnson Number Retirement Night, May 2nd, presented by T-Mobile. Check out the full schedule and get tickets at mariners.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111.